Let's see.
Popped up.
Yes.
That's it. The YouTube has popped up. You might want to check whether or not you can hear your voice on the live stream.
Oh,
You should
God,
be
let's
able
see.
to. Should definitely be able to.
Yes, okay.
Beautiful.
Eli's already in.
That's quick.
I know, right? You haven't even put the announcement out, have you?
No, I literally haven't even started typing it.
Right, let's sign in on the ALR account.
I cannot type for
Well, we know that.
I just spelled action, but I spelled it as Asseldorf name. We're just gonna type join round 7 Anton. Like
Right, you focus on typing. I'll do an intro.
yeah,
Hi everyone. So we are at the final 2 rounds of the season, which means that we only have 5 teams remaining out of 15. We've dropped 10 teams, including mine. So I'm joining Pyro Comms for these next 2 weeks to see how the title charge ends with these top 5 teams. So let's go through the 5 that we've got. We've got MWR obviously in first place with Mew Mew, who's actually on screen right now. It is for GT. They have 567 points, which is quite a substantial lead, but remember that we have double points for these last 2 rounds. So if they do have a bit of a nightmare in Suzuka tonight, they could easily get caught by Project Platypus, who are on 484 points. So around about 80 odd points between the 2 of them. We have seen gaps like that disappear in the past. It is very, very possible, depending on what can happen. It is a possibility that it rains here as well, so that could set the cat amongst the pigeons. We've got Aero GT in third place, back in the top 5 for the first time in a few seasons, thanks to some really strong drivers that they've signed in between last season and this one. They're on 364 points. Basically, the P3, 4, and 5, I think, are really challenging each other to try and get into the top 3 by the end of the season. We've got ITM, the Italian team motorsport team, in 4th place, who are actually serving a quali ban, which is Alessandro who's serving it, despite being 2nd in practice here. And then we've got Liz Racing Cabin, who are a new team this season. They managed to beat 2 Oil Kingdoms to the top 5 in the last couple of rounds and really solidify that spot there with some really good Lobby A performances. They were on 288 points. They're a good 40 points behind ITM, but again, with a good performance in these last 2 rounds, they could end up not in 5th place. So it's all to play for pretty much everybody here.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Liberating Cabin, as you said, into the top 5 for the first time. They were very much buoyed by a 2nd place for Attingren last week, which was... Attingren is an exceptionally good driver for those who are not famous. It was still quite a surprise to see him run Mumu to the line, pretty much. Which
is he racing today?
He is. He actually
what car's he in?
There he is. In the Nissan GTR 18.
Nissan GTR is actually one of the best cars at Suzuka still. I know it's not as good as it used to be. What the hell is that livery?
It is one of the liveries of all time, I can tell you that much.
See, obviously, I've been qualifying towards the back of Lobby B and C, so I've not seen this livery up close. And this is... yeah, that is some driving suitable for the livery that he's got on that car. So there we are. But yeah, like we're saying, I think he might have a decent chance of a podium here in the Nissan GTR. Obviously, it's not too good on the tyres, but really, really good on the fuel, that Nissan. So I don't think the Suzuka's got the highest tyre wear either.
It's somewhere in between, if I remember right, from what we've done in prior races around here. Obviously, we're hoping we don't get a rerun of the very first season, the red flag and all that stuff. But yeah, it's somewhere in the middle. I still very much expect 2 stops to be where it's at. No one's going to try a 1 stop, and 3 stop just simply... That's just not enough. Well, actually, normally 1.5 times the distance maybe brings 3 or 4 stops into it. But we'll wait and see how everyone plays it out. It is going to be a long night, though. That's what we can guarantee. That's the certain, and a lot of chaos is going to be going down into turn 1, which is
Yeah. I've seen the chat. People are saying that turn one's probably going to be chaos. To be fair, I don't think we've seen the worst incidents at turn 1 around here in ALR. There's other corners I think that are more lethal.
Oh yeah. There's a certain one from the side from a different continent that may or may not spring to mind immediately when you say that.
Yeah.
Those who have been around for a long time, they will know the incident between Rabak, Jensen, Aura, and company that happened a couple of seasons back now.
Oh,
I think
Monza.
maybe 1 or 2 Monza. Yeah.
Yeah.
Know all that.
I mean, this season, that last corner at Canada, obviously in lobby B.
Yeah, that's
an iconic one. And then And then there was a multi-car pileup last week in what tier was it? Oh, in lobby C, I think, when the rain came down and certain drivers didn't have wet tires. So...
Yeah,
but yeah.
Definitely had our fair share of incidents a couple of times. As for the chance of the rain, well, for those who are currently watching, you'll be able to see a timer on the bottom left hand of your screen. That states 43 minutes. The problem is, it hasn't even become close to draining in that period of time.
Reset the lobby.
It hasn't even got close. It has been bone dry. This is how set the actual track temperatures and that lot have been. The weather, the wind on the weather, hasn't changed at all. It has been from left to right, from about 2.5 meters a second to about 3, the entire 43 minutes. It's been fairly scarily similar, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Rain is not very likely.
Are you sure you've got all the settings right? You know, just want to make double check. You might need to change a setting or two.
The one time I actually saved the settings.
Is time progression? Are we not doing a longer time progression tonight?
No, actually, it's not on the calendar anyway.
Shortcut penalties. Are we sure that they're correct?
Well, unfortunately, in the boat where everything is going to be completely bone dry. Panic Potato in the lobby, his team, if they actually had 3 drivers last week instead of having someone serving a race ban, they would have actually been potentially in. Over,
oh man, they are a quick team, by the way. I think if they could sort their quali out, they'll be a top 5 team next season. That team new, I think, apart from Latari, who moved teams from Apex from the season before. I think the rest of them might have been brand new. Oh, for me, they were brand new anyway, and they're all very, very quick. Was a trouble keeping up with all of them when I was in their lobbies, but yeah, definitely some of the quickest guys in ALR at the moment.
Yeah. To the person just asked how long this race is going to be, usually these races are somewhere between 1.5 hours and 2 hours, depending on whereabouts you are, over the course of the night, qualifying included. We start half an hour early for this, because we assume the entire thing is going to take into 2.5 hours. It is 52 laps plus a 10-minute qualifying session, so we think we'll be done by 8:30, if we're lucky, and it doesn't rain.
Yeah. Do we have everyone, by the way? It says 14 in. Because I just saw Anonymous joined, and
are we missing?
2 are we missing?
Looks like we are.
Oh, we should be missing 2 people, yeah.
So Jensen, Mumu, Iron for...
Project Platypus have all 3. ITM have all 3. Looks like Liv have all 3. NWR.
3.
So...
we are missing Aero GT. Literally the entire team.
Maybe they were all practicing. So here's Astro and Anonymous.
Yeah, they're all joining now.
Who's the third one?
Danny C. It's Danny C. Is the third name on that list. I will ping him now.
Yeah, 52 laps for this one. This is a 2-hour race. Actually, how long are the Suzuka stints? You might be aware, whilst we're waiting, that we've got a 12-hour race coming up in about a month's time. On the 18th of March is qualifying, 21st of March is the race. It's a 12-hour race around Suzuka. which is going to be pretty good, I reckon. We had a really good turnout for the last one at Daytona and the one before at Spa as well. We've got a lot of varying lap times in terms of the stints, so I'm going to find the Google Doc because this is 52 laps. I want to see if there's any stints that are close to 52 laps.
This should be around about the 2-hour stint.
Yeah, the 2-hour stint is actually 50 laps because we take a bit of time off because of all the faffing around that we have to do. So if you're going to be doing stint 4, this is basically what you want to be watching in terms of strategy. Of course, the guys here are going to be starting with half a tank. You can put in however much fuel you want in the 12 hours because you're starting in the pits. But yeah, stint 4 is 50 laps, but that's the wet stint. Stint 6 is 57 laps, and that is the 2-hour stint. So this should be a little bit quicker than 2 hours. The 1.5 hour stint is 43 laps, so it's kind of in between 1 hour 45, maybe this one's going to be. It's maybe not too helpful, but you'll definitely should be able to see which cars are strongest anyway.
Let me ping Hurricane.
This is let me see if
ping Hurricane and ping Danny. One of them will respond. I know Hurricane's beside his phone. I know that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming. Cool.
There you go. Beautiful.
Sweet.
It shouldn't be any later than 35 then, if he's coming now.
So what cars have we got tonight? Looks like we've got loads of different types of cars in here.
Yeah, so each team has, I believe, or at least most of them have used their designation of cars and/or electric drivers at this point. So what you'll see here is what they're set into. A few very different cars. Obviously, you got NWR who like choosing their random cars to not stat pad everyone, basically. So Mumu in the Ford GT, Jensen in the GTR 13, not the 18. Don't get those two confused.
Yeah, quite different actually.
Yeah, and Iron in the Z4, who he did that. The Z4 in Canada, and obviously we knew from the start of the Monday season that's the best car on that track, and it's probably not close. But it should be.
I reckon it should be quite strong here. Yeah, it's good on acceleration. You don't obviously need to be in 6th gear too much in Suzuka, which is where I think the Z4 starts being a bit crap. So that's interesting. We've got an M6. We have a couple of M6s on the Aero team tonight, and then I think Anonymous in the McLaren 650S.
Yeah, he's gonna struggle.
Well, tires though will help him get back in.
Yeah. There's a few decent cars here. The GTRs are obviously in force, and
yeah, Monster Cat in the M6 as well for ITM, and another Z4 with Alessandro.
Alessandro is going to be the one to watch coming from the back. That's what I wanted. That's what I want to say here. Alessandro been pretty quick in qualifying in practice. He's going to be the one to watch coming from the back.
How do the points work? So the points carry over. It's just every position is now worth double what it was in the opening 6 rounds. So basically, if you think about it, we've had 60% of the season done points-wise, and we've still got 40% of the points on offer just for these last 2 rounds because it's double points. So a lot to play for still.
If a team had a bad race, for example, if NWR, for some reason, someone DCs, Mumu had a bad race or something of that nature, a Project Platypus win, or a Project Platypus maybe 1-3 maybe, would put them in the lead of this championship. That's the difference in how big of the how much of the share of the points goes to the last 2 races. Everything carried on. It is massive to build a gap than you can through the first 6 weeks, because obviously the elimination phase you have to qualify for this event. But then you also have to, put it together when it actually counts. Which
absolutely. Who's the first guy out? Who's like a mile up the road?
Let's see. It's Jensen.
Jensen, okay.
Jensen. So we'll stick with Jensen for now then. In the GTR 13. Now, for those who have been here a long time, especially spent a long time in the server, they'll know I have a great affinity to this car. One
of Pyro's only race wins came in the 2013.
Yeah, I'd say I have 2 wins in 300 and odd races to this point. One of them being in this GTR 13, and I still have not got over the fact they nuked it when they brought out the 18.
What was your other win in?
The Alfa Romeo.
McLaren. Alfa Romeo. See,
Alfa
just the
Romeo
most random cars that you've actually won racing. Not like any of the cars that you've had when they've actually been good. Like the many seasons you've been in the McLaren, for example.
Yeah, it was in the long boy livery, the Alfa Romeo at the Austrian. I think it was like season 17 or 18. And a long time ago now. And we've hit almost another 100 races without a win.
To be fair, you should have won 1 or 2 this season so far, Pyro.
I don't want to talk about it. It's really hard to beat Higgsy when he's a second and a half quicker than you on a lap.
Well, you know, I'm talking about it earlier in the season when Higgsy wasn't the, you know, he hadn't decided that he was a tier 1 driver, you know. So.
Yeah, no,
here we go. Zico's caught up to the back of Jensen here for some reason, putting a bit of pressure on him.
I can imagine him wanting to stay on the back of Jensen as much as possible here, because I think Jensen will be one of the quicker drivers.
Yeah, maybe trying to do a bit of slipstream, yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that Jensen is going to be one of the quicker drivers. Oh, that is not good. That's Monster kind of. Well, it's not. It's PZN.
No, it's PZN.
Oh,
has he disconnected?
Is that a DC? I was about to say that looked like a DC.
I mean, look at the wheels randomly turning. That's a bit strange.
He's crashed. Yep, Alessandro, we can see that. Yep,
there we go. So we're going to have 2 ITM drivers starting at the back then.
Yeah, so...
Alessandro's serving a quali ban.
Well, ITM, this is not gone to plan. One serving a qualifying ban, and the other one is now serving a de facto qualifying ban. No, that does not mean you can come out of the pits, Alessandro, before you even begin to question. That
absolutely.
That does not affect the serving of a qualifying ban for reference. That has to be designated before we start and has been done correctly. So, yeah, you're gonna have to just sit there and wait and pray that PZN can actually stay here for long enough when he comes back.
But the thing is, you're going to have to reset the lobby to let him back in, which means there's a better chance of rain in the race.
There is.
There we go. Thank you, ITM.
The chance of rain has exponentially increased now that he has disconnected. You are right.
A little bit wobbly there on the exit for Jensen, by the way. I think we're looking at 57s for pole position, which is insane. So Jensen was the quickest in practice, I did notice. So let's see if he can actually hit that. He's only got the last little chicane to go before we get there.
Jensen was the quickest in practice. However, it was a half second off any time that had been said to me when I was in parties prior. So, you know, we'll give and take with that. The wind is apparently extremely beneficial here. 57.9 is definitely a good start.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. The only person in the 57 so far, and half a second quicker than Zico. Tim Gren and Monster Cat, a little bit slower. Astro up into 3rd place with a 58.6. Oak looks like he's had a bit of a spin. He hasn't disconnected. He's just made a bit of a boo-boo there.
Yeah, he's facing the wrong way on the track. You never want to do that. Iron into the line, 59.7. Enkyo, 59.5, beats out the ITM driver, not the ITM driver, the NWR driver. Oak and Danny to the line now as well. It's not connection related. Uh-oh. It's not a connection related DC, so...
Oh.
You're going to provide us a little bit more information Alessandro.
Yeah, maybe his power's gone off or something. It could be overheating. A lot of PS5s are overheating now. People need to get the air bottle into their PS5s.
Okay, so it's not a DC, so that's good news. That is good news.
Well, potentially not.
Yeah, actually, it depends how quickly you can realistically declutter a PS5.
Yeah.
And I think we've just unintentionally created a new speedrun category. See how quickly you can actually stop a PS5 from overheating from all the dust inside. But yeah, 57.9. That's a very quick lap time. He's not beating it straight away. That's a certain. There's currently about a 10th down on his fastest lap so far in this session is Jensen. I think it might be a little bit too early to pit. Or is he going to go in now? Which one?
Depends. I mean, he's setting almost... Yeah, he's coming in. Maybe didn't think he was going to beat that time. It needs. To be fair, look how quickly the tires are going down after. This is just lap 3.
Yeah.
So
Also, you got to
this,
remember, everyone is on a 10-minute time limit as well, so you kind of just want to
yeah,
get that tire
this
out.
is the
and
lap
then
to
put
come in probably if you're going to come in.
Astro in. And we get a nice little spotlight on the ITM drivers for a minute. Cameron.
This is not ITM, by the way.
Not ITM, sorry. Live Racing Kevin. I am definitely doing things. Oh, his sister unplugged the PS5.
Wow. Okay, that's a first. That's for the first time in ALR. I think someone's been sabotaged by their own family.
That's a new one. That is well and truly. I've not seen that one before. It was actually, to be honest with you, it was probably about time something like that did happen. After them, obviously pit on the lap prior, you can see by the tires. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one before. It's a very interesting one. Someone's paid off his sister.
Yeah.
Oh, Attigres literally drifting through turn 1. But,
so it looks like he reset to pits and came back out again at him, Gren. So that's his second hot lap that he's starting now, and potentially he's ruined it a little bit there.
Yeah, he's gonna get one more shot afterward though, because if you can look, we're about 7.5 minutes through, and he's just gonna go there now. Each to their own, I guess.
Yeah, fair.
Jensen's got a 3-second time penalty.
Well, this is his outlap anyway.
Yeah. I think he's going to get jumped. Is that Zico behind him? It is. So I wonder what Zico's going to be able to do with without slipstream or anything of that nature then. He's probably going to be the one that leads us into what will be the last laps of the session. Actually, we've just crossed the 8-minute mark and it's about a 1:58 lap and no one is remotely close to a start-finish line.
Oh. Is Arch not a hot lap or is he just trying to get some clear air there?
Have a look. The answer is the latter. The former, sorry. He's on an lap by the...
Put a number on your number plate, man.
He's on a flying lap right now. I don't know if this is an improvement. It definitely doesn't... Oh, it is! It's 2 tenths! He's up in the 5th! He's up in the 5th. Bearing in mind, this is the last laps now, essentially. Everyone will cross over the line. They've got about 1 minute and 12 seconds left to go for their last flying laps. Those coming round Spoon Curve right now, and we're probably going to be looking at this worrying a little bit as to whether or not they get that extra lap time, especially the ones just come into the end of the second sector. Yeah, it's Perry, Zico, and Oak for Project Platypus today. They look to chase down NWR, who are driving with Iron, Mumu, and Jensen, because there is no let up in this NWR team in the slightest. Every single one of them is massive.
Yeah, so Mumu actually the lowest one out of 3 of them in his Ford GT.
And you had to speak.
Yeah, literally. Mumu the second highest of the team in his Ford GT. But he's still 9 tenths off of Jensen's time. So no one actually, even in the low 58s, let alone in the 57s.
The GTR 13 is apparently pretty good here, and I was not quite expecting that one.
I know, right? You're going to see loads of people using the 13 next season to lower levels of success.
A lot lower levels of success, that's for certain.
I mean, Panzani's joining tag is from 0 to hero, which he's absolutely going to need after his sister disconnected his PS5, and he's going to be starting at the back. So Monster Cat up in 8th actually is really interesting to see, right? Because I've been racing him in Tier 2, and he's been at the back in the Honda NSX, so it actually shows he's got some good pace if he actually practices. I'm assuming he does practice for Monday League.
I would assume that would probably be the case. He has actually... I don't think he's actually seen Lobby. If he has seen Lobby 8, it has only been once, and it wasn't particularly memorable by the fact that I am struggling to remember it. Iron to the line here, 50, not improving. He's not improving. Jensen and then Zico. Jensen not improving. Zico does and gets a little bit, literally
just
a little bit
tiny
closer.
Improvement, yeah.
Astro to the line, not improving. Perry does improve.
Perry's up into 8th, though.
Cameron, no improvements for Cameron then. Who's the next one to the line? Is there an improvement going on there? Anonymous did a 58.6. Good luck for him. Montecat, no improvement. Oh,
58.6 is very good. Anonymous could be in the top 5, I think.
There's Oak 59.9 still at the back of the grid. It's Danny C is the next one up. Is this an improvement? Is this into the 58th? No, but it's up to 9th. He'll take that. We've got a couple of drivers left on the grid. Mumu is one of them up to the line. 58, 58, 4. There you go. He's got himself up in the top 2.
Just a couple more. Aries.
Yeah, Inkyo to the line next. 58, 59, 59, 4. Not improving in position. Who's the last man on the track then? It's Attengren.
Right, what can he do with the 18 GTR?
It's going to be interesting if he can get himself up an improvement here. He needs 3/10 of an improvement, by the way, to catch Anonymous. Who goes to the line? It's a 58.3 and he beat Mumu! He's up in a second again! Wow.
So it's a Nissan front row, but the 13 is in pole position, the 18 is in P2. So this is really interesting. Liv's Racing Cabin in 5th place currently in the standings. But on the front row, and with these double points, they could potentially finish in the top 3 by the end of today if Tim Grin can convert this. And his teammate Cameron's down in 8th as well, so a fairly decent qualifying for him. But yeah, I think NWL will be super happy with how their qualifier's going. 1st, 3rd, and 7th for them.
Yeah, quite frankly, the next team behind them, the only person that's put anything to them whatsoever is Eco, and he's almost 6 out of a second off the back of Jensen. So
yeah, where are the other Project Platypus? I think Perry was really down to 10th last time I saw.
Yeah,
and then Oak down in 13th, the last of anyone who's actually set a lap there by half a second. So don't know what's happening with him, but really struggling in this qualifying session.
It's not promising. That's the best way of saying that. It is not promising in the slightest for Project Platypus here. I'll take a very quick screenshot of those so I can post them.
Aero, pretty decent for Aero GT. So their lowest driver's in 9th place, but also they've got Astro in 5th and Anonymous in 6th. With you said he was going to struggle in that McLaren, and he's up in 6th place there. Only 7/10 off of Jensen's time.
He's done very well there because he's raced, 3 times? I think this is his 3rd or 4th race this season, and he has failed to make a mark in any of those races prior. I think he may have made one lobby A. If he has, I'm not particularly completely aware of it, but he hasn't had a strong season, not in esports anyway. And so he'll be happy with a 6th here, just to put those demons behind for a little while.
So why is BX not driving? Well, he's actually not a single Viper's on the grid here, and I feel like half of all teams were driving the Viper during the first 6 rounds. So I think he's probably realised the Viper's not too strong.
It's also the first race this entire season BX hasn't drove. The man needs a break.
It's quite high tyre wear, and the Viper's not too good on its tyres as well, so you'll have to reset the lobby and do a manual grid. Yeah,
so we'll have to do that. I did take the settings, not the settings, sorry, the picture. I did. We will end the race here then. Jensen needs a couple of minutes, so I'll take that time to set the grid anyway. I apologize in advance. We are probably going to see a different set of settings here for a second. Settings and or weather.
Change from
qualifying. Twilight stays there. It's grid start, ball start check set by host. Everything else should be the same.
Yep.
All right. Are we raining? That's the big question. If it's ever going to load up. Don't do this to me, game. It's definitely not raining. It took a lot longer than I was hoping it would, but it definitely isn't raining. Have we seen any rain in the last 60 minutes, out of curiosity? The answer to that is absolutely not. Nothing on the map at all in the last hour or so.
Yeah.
Game time.
Dry track, but you had practice going for a good half an hour in the first time round, and it didn't rain, so it maybe could change with these weather slots all being random.
The problem you've got is when it comes to GT is you need RO6, RO7, or RO8 just to even see a speck of rain. RO5, for example, was rolled. That wouldn't be enough with the amount of drivers we have on track.
Yeah, Euro 5 is like, maybe you'll get some rain.
It would be rain if you didn't have 16 people in the lobby. That's what it is. We saw the other day when we went to, I think it was Spa for the wet race and Mondays, but not Mondays, sorry, Spa Spec Series. That's the one. Yeah.
Set the grid.
Yeah. So it was Jensen from Ate in second, then it was Mumu in third, Zico in fourth, Astra in fifth. I'll put Alessandro right to the back.
Yeah, Anonymous 6th, Argent 7th.
Sixth. Zion. What was eighth?
Cameron. Then Danny, then Perry.
Cameron. Danny. Perry.
And then it was Monster Cat and Inkyo.
And then
Oak, PZN, and then Alessandro. Yep.
Yep.
There you go.
Should be everything that is correct. Beautiful. To answer your question, the game doesn't like loading rain if there's a lot of people in the lobby. I don't know why. I'm not particularly proficient in coding, so I don't know what causes that. They didn't like doing it, I can tell you that much. So you need to have a high RO count for it to start raining with 6 or with a full lobby. The less people you have in a lobby, the more increases chance of rain.
Really? Where did you hear that from?
It's just, I believe someone said it.
This feels like an urban myth.
But it potentially is, but as far as I'm aware, that is how that works. What strategies are we going to see today?
Yeah, have a quick look, see what tyres everyone's starting on.
I reckon it's probably a 3-stop. Are we starting on softs to start with? Oh, we already have our first difference. So Mumu's on mediums right now then.
He's going to drop back a lot at the start.
Are on softs. Oh, well, that's interesting in the Ford GT, and everyone else is conforming to the norm.
Yeah.
So it's everyone on softs apart from Mumu. That's fairly easy to remember.
This will be interesting then. Maybe he'll spend the whole first stint backing everyone up, and then the top guys, including his 2 teammates, will get away, and then he'll just switch it on, like we know he can, and just catch them back up when no one else will be able to later in the race.
It'll be interesting because he's gonna, I'd assume this will be maybe like 12 laps ish on the tank. Do those on the medium, then just bam soft till the end.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that being anything else, bearing in mind that for those that are new or haven't spent a lot of time here, you do have to use 2 different sets of compound. There has been some floating in, there's some conversations in the captain chat recently of potentially stretching that to all compounds, but we don't know about that up to this point. But for now, it's just using 2 sets of tyres, which is going to be a medium and a soft to pretty much every single person on the grid. No one's going to use hards. No one in the right mind's going to use hards anyway. Not the track, Alessandro.
There we go. That's his first lap of practicing a little bit, and it's not going too good. Right, shall we get going then?
I need to make sure that Jensen's all right, and then yeah, we can.
Surely he's had enough time.
You would think.
It depends what those 4 stars said.
I think I can I can hazard a guess at what those 4 stars would probably say.
Have we got the replays ready as well?
I have my keyboard plugged in. Whether or not it's going to play ball is a different question.
That sounds ominous.
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So pick a day, I guess. We're about to find out. By the fact that he said hello, I gotta assume he is.
Yes.
So that means we're good to go. One last check of the settings, as we always do. Make sure everything is correct on that regard. It is, which means we are good to go. Right, 52 laps then. 52 laps around Suzuka on what could be a potentially massive night for NWR in particular, looking to try and gain enough of an advantage where the race at St. Croix next week is not going to matter. Project Platypus is looking to do basically the exact opposite and try and harm everything that the Burgundy Red can do through the opening stages of this race to kind of put them as far at the back as they can.
Zico needs to get himself to the front of this start. Take
four,
away.
5 red lights. It's lights out, away we go. Held for a little bit at the start there. Looks like Ate may have got a better start than Jensen. It's not a great start for the GTR 13 in the slightest, but he has dove to the inside. He's got himself a nice little look at the front and does keep the lead. Ate goes a little bit deep. I think there's a sparkling blue that just went off the track real quick. And Inkyo, who's forgotten where the actual track looks to be. PZN's in 13th. Danny and Montecat dropping to the back already, which is probably, again, not good news for ITM. Inkyo is lagging all over the place.
Yeah,
I am
really
not
bad like
sure
that.
what the hell he's doing. He is existing. I'm not sure.
Jesus, that is the worst lag I've seen in a long time.
Jesus Christ! there is a chance for people to see where he is. I don't know where that chance exists. He's now.
Is he on? Is he going?
Track.
Yes.
I think he's off the track. I think he's also
And
just been
and
tagged by
again,
Montecat.
okay. Yeah.
Italian on Italian warfare there to try and figure out what was
What's
going
happening
on.
up front?
Oh, Sandro clipping the back of Oak. Let's have a look at what's going on.
That's
the
mental.
wild camera angle, just seeing everything that's going on there. Mumu has been overtaken by Iron. Cameron has started fairly electrically up in the 4th.
Yeah, great start up to 4th for him. He was, I think, 8th in qualifying, so that's a great start for the AMG, and that's 2 of Liv's Racing cabins in the top 4. The only team that has 2 in the top 4. Managed to get ahead of Arjun as well, but the top 3 really look like they're breaking away, and Mew Mew's down into 6th on his mediums. He's probably going to have to be defending a lot. He's coming under a bit of pressure from Astro now in the M6.
Yeah, he's going to struggle a little bit here when it comes to the tyres against the guys on the softs. Looked like there was potentially a move trying to go on from Perry there, as Perry obviously gaining the spot from Inkyo earlier on into this session and trying... Oh, that didn't look good in the background either. Someone is dead, and it's PZN. It's PZN that's off the track, and we are going to get the ball being played with. Thank God. Replays, it didn't look great.
Maybe
there.
missed his braking a little bit and had to take... Ooh, I didn't know you could do that.
Me neither. I thought you probably should have just taken those tyre barriers to the natural chicane, and it would have been a little quicker. I can imagine anyway, as he just goes to the back of the grid then. We have a little bit of an advancement here from Project Platypus then. It's not as bad as it first looked. Toke is up into 10th already. Obviously, Mumu
yeah, lots of
and,
incidents in the opening lap. I'm not sure if any of them will actually get a steward's penalty though, because
good luck telling where Inkyo was.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, good luck telling where the Italian was, to be completely honest with you, because we couldn't. We still can't. Look at the back of the screen. What the hell is going on? Well, 2/3 of Live Racing Cabin has figured out what they're doing. The other one has forgotten that they actually needed an internet to race. So that's a good start. There we go. Iron on the inside of...
Oh, is that how you say his name?
Yeah,
oh, yeah, like Iron Robin.
Iron Robin, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've been calling him Argent this whole time.
Here we go. Cameron looking to defend that outside. Can he just defend it? He absolutely has. The Z4 should give him a good run for his money down the towards 130 odd, though. Is this going to be enough down the back straight to make a move? Rattingham still ahead of Zico for now as well. Jensen still have control over the race. Iron going off the track. It's not a good start there on the exit of 130 yard if he's trying to catch Cameron. And Cameron should have a little bit of breathing room as a result now. Anonymous having to defend from Perry in the middle of that chicane that we're not going to get to see because the camera angle is fixated on that chicane for some reason. As we see down the straight, this has potentially got to be a move here. There's got to be a move down the inside with that Merc Oaken behind as well, potentially lining up to follow through the whole contact, and Anonymous off the track.
That might be reported. And that is 3 positions lost for Anonymous. He's still off the track as well. Alessandro into the top 10 now, having started last. And Danny passed Anonymous as well. He's not going to be happy at all with that after his best qualifying of the season for sure. Now he's got the laggy boy right behind him.
Yeah, Inkio's trying to make a move around the outside of the S's. You may be in a Citroen, but he's in a McLaren. You ain't got that speed, I can tell you that right now. As someone who can speak with perfect experience of being in both of those cars, you're definitely not making it round the outside of the S's anytime soon.
No.
As we go through into first, it's not really going to happen here at all in the slightest. So Inkio, so Anonymous is going to be safe from losing any more positions after the contact with Perry, which again gains Project Platypus a couple of positions in the race itself on track. Whether or not that sticks later is a different question.
Astro's still stuck behind Mumu, which yeah, he's just not been able to get past at all. We know the Ford GT is pretty good in a straight line, which is probably helping Mumu out. But yeah, this M6 looks pretty quick. If he can get past, I reckon he could challenge for the top 5. And Aero need drivers to be making a bit of progress here if they want to be finishing in 3rd place with how well Liv's Racing Cabin are doing. Well, at least for 2 of the cars so far today.
Yeah, it's definitely a good start for Liv Racing Cabin here. They barely squeaked in after TNR put on a clinic in the final race of the season to give them an opportunity. Perry looking for a move, backs out of it, probably wise, to see if he could get something to go, and then obviously not able to keep it in on the chicane, so he definitely had to back out of that, otherwise that was going to end a disaster. Yeah, again, Project Platypus just setting up a line, trying to set themselves a move up in position to try and get, well, create a hole, get them both through if they can. That's what they're trying to do.
Is the GTR just insanely good here? Because look at the top 3, completely breaking away from everyone else now. There is a good, how many seconds between Cameron and Zico? 3 seconds now, and they've only done 3 laps.
Yeah, that GTR seems to be in a little bit of control of this race. The problem is the GTR 18s have now got to try and get past the GTR 13. And Jensen has well and truly been a tough customer to beat this season. And ever he got to the front, he has been a very, very difficult person to track down. And when you've got that kind of pace, it kind of makes sense. So we saw Attengren try and chase down Mumu last week at Tokyo. So we've seen a couple of drivers run NWR to the line. We obviously saw for a small period of time during the mid-season when Aura won back-to-back, the Aero GT looked like a threat for a little while. So it's not like NWR are invincible by any means. They're gonna have to take some beating here, though. I reckon with Jensen.
Yeah, they look pretty in control. I mean, Mumu's still 6th place, and he's the only guy on the medium, so he's still putting in a pretty solid shift there.
Yeah, he's not lost anywhere near as much time as I think he would have. He should have lost anyway. It's really not good for anyone else at this point in time. Seeing a driver of his of his stature in 6th and not really losing anything. My voice is deciding it doesn't want to cooperate. But yeah, it's not good news for the rest of the grid. I'm gonna get a drink.
So Astro's still stuck around like the 2 to 3 tenths behind Mumu, and Perry keeps appearing pretty close behind, and then kind of positioning himself in some awkward spots and losing a bit of time. And now he's got Oak all over the back of him. Oak looks like he's a bit more comfortable in race trim than he was in qualifying. But yeah, we've got 4 groups of cars really. We've got the top 3. It looks like Zico's actually must have made a little bit of a mistake because he's dropped off the back of Tim Grad a little bit looking at the minimap. Then you've got the 4th and 5th cars, Cameron and Argent, kind of breaking away from Mumu on the mediums, who's got a little train of like 4 or 5 cars behind him. Then you've got the cars at the back that kind of have all been involved in an incident or two outside the top 10.
Yeah, and you can see the bottlenecked by Mumu at the moment, this group. Yeah, this group in particular, from 6th all the way back to what, like 10th or 11th here, I think it's not quite Danny C, but Alessandro for certain. They're bottlenecked by this medium tyre. They need to get someone past. It doesn't matter who it is. All of them need to get someone past that 4GT, and they need to do it as soon as humanly possible. Otherwise, their races are going to be royally screwed back here.
And where's Anonymous? He's not in this group, I don't think.
Oh,
Cameron's made a big mistake. He's going to get overtaken now for sure. That was a big mistake.
Let's see if we can get the mistake on camera. It looked like it just wide.
All on his own unforced error, yep.
Not good news for Live Racing Cabin. He's already lost one, he's lost another. And Perry's about to be on the back of him. He's not really up to speed. Perry's going to box himself in on the inside here. Can he get himself in front? He will get himself in front of Cameron. Oak's not got himself through, but Perry up in the 7th, and that is a very good bit of news for Project Platypus. The only bad news is that both Iron and Mumu also inherit the position as well.
Yeah.
It looks like they are inheriting positions and having a lot of space to deal with it as well. That's probably not the greatest actual idea of the thing that happened there for Project Platypus, because now Iron's on his own. Mumu's bottlenecking everyone as he had been from the start. It looked like that was the strategy in the first place.
Yeah, now NWR have 3 drivers in the top 5, so this has worked out well for them. It worked out really well for Aero as well, because obviously they might have started feeling a bit nervous with Tim Grin in 2nd and Cameron in 4th, but now Astro's at least ahead of Cameron.
Yeah, it's a damage limitations there. They all did have a healthy lead over the group in the first place. Cameron's off again! He's off again! And
That's
just a
big
bounce
mistake.
surviving the wall.
I wonder if there was a lag involved in that, because that was weird.
I think he just missed it. We saw it at the end of Spoon Curve
now
as well.
He's
he
last.
dropped right to the back, yeah.
From 4th to 15th in less than a lap.
That's going to sting.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's like, with the double points, how many points is that losing? That is a lot of points losing.
Good question. That is a very
I'm going to have
good
a quick look. I'm going to have a quick look.
I reckon it's easily, probably about 40 or 50 points, I reckon, given up. That is a massive mistake. Massive, well, compounding of mistake, I reckon.
With the double points, it is 36 that he's just dropped there with those two errors.
Out of curiosity, where would the 36 points have put them in respect to 4th and 3rd on the grid at the beginning of the day?
I'll tell you.
Alessandro up in 8th. Alessandro's past Perry. Alessandro's got by. And it's good news for ITM. To inheriting essentially a decent chunk of points off the back of Cameron.
Oh, it's absolutely helped ITM because they started the day 37 points ahead of Lives Racing Cabin, and they've just lost 36 with those 2 mistakes. Add into that the 3 ITM drivers gaining positions, so that's even an even bigger swing towards ITM.
I think it's we have a swing at the front as well, because I think Perry just span. I can't tell what's going with it. It's a little bit too late to pull the replay up. I think Perry may have spanned. He's behind Oak, he's behind Astro, and he's behind Alessandro now. What I thought may have actually been an overtake is maybe just passing on after a mistake from Perry himself. That is not good news. That is a bad error to make when you were actually charging through the field extremely well.
PX thinks it's a penalty.
I don't think it would have been. It would have been.
That's quite. I don't know. It's quite a long way to. Maybe it was a quick spin.
Maybe a half spin or something. Yeah.
A 360.
Going off. Maybe going off at the end of 130R potentially. I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure. Without Perry's audio, wouldn't have any idea whatsoever. I know they're all in a party.
With all this going on, there's a lot of gaps opening up. So the only person who's stuck with me now that the softs are starting to wear and all these incidents are happening is Astro. Still not able to get past, but actually not in the worst position in the world.
No,
I think people might start coming in fairly soon, though. I know they've got about a quarter of a tank left, most of them, but the tyres are wearing fairly quickly here.
It's going to be interesting to see if they go the entire tank. It is customary in the sports races that the first stint is usually the length of the, half a fuel tank, I guess, because that's what we start with. We start with the 50% in the fuel tank on qualifying and in the race itself, and they base their strategies off of that, just to give it a little bit more of a dynamic, even if it does kind of almost always set into a 2-stop.
The thing is, though, the thing that I remember very vividly from the last feature race we did here a couple of seasons ago is that the undercut, because it's a 2-minute lap, is absolutely huge here. So if anyone wants to do an undercut and has factored that into their strategy, they could get about 4 positions quite easily from this group of cars that we're looking at.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Eli seems to be thinking that Astro may be running a bit of fuel saving.
Well, we know the Ford GT's got good fuel.
Yeah, the Ford GT. The Ford GT has been put here not necessarily because it's good at Suzuka, but purely to be a menace.
Yes.
it was definitely, even though the car driving it could easily win a race given on any given day. It definitely seems.
What about the Nissan? I want to see what the Nissan's tires look like compared to some of these other cars.
Whoa,
oh dear,
that doesn't look good.
Yeah, that's not good.
The answer to your question is a lot worse.
They're coming in maybe next lap. Yeah.
Attengren on hard. Attengren's doing a lot better on his tires than Zico. Zico is massacring his tires.
So this is the thing, the GTR might be the quickest around here, but it's also might not have the tyres to be able to fight a little bit later in the race, especially for Zico, who's only got a 3-second lead on Iron. But what's Iron's tyres like?
Iron's tyres a lot better.
A lot better, and that's the AMG, which isn't known for having good tyres.
Yeah, this is going to be proper.
Oh no, it's the Z4, sorry. It's the Z4.
I don't actually know what the Z4 looks like when it comes to tyres. I know it's about acceleration. It's not necessarily a speed car, but I don't actually know tyres and fuel. I guess Eli's going to be one to ask about that, driving it all season. Well, I guess it's a lot better on its tyres anyway than that GTR is, I can tell you that much. But he's got Attengren in second, Jensen got a 3-second lead, hasn't really been troubled at all since the word go.
His tyre's a bit better than the newer GTR version as well. But worse on fuel.
Yeah, but
well, compare him to Zico. Zico's tyres are worse than Tim Gren's.
Yeah, Zico's. I think Zico might be the outlier and not the other way around.
Yeah, maybe Zico's the problem.
I was about to say, I think Zico might be the outlier here, because when you go Attengren to Jensen, that's pretty much identical, but Jensen's it's a little bit better on the rears of Jensen, but a lot less on fuel. So that seems to be the trade-off there from the GTR 13 to the GTR 18. I think we're going to have to find a little bit of pace to cover that trade-off off, because Jensen in control of this race and has been since the start. Yeah, 3.7 seconds, 3.8 to Zico, then an extra 3 to Iron, as we got a little bit of gaps forming here in the front of the grid in particular. 1.5 to Mumu after that. Astro slowly but surely dropping off the back of that Ford. It has hit that point where the mediums are going to start riding now, and that is not good news for the Swede, who realistically has had...
He's dropping back now.
A large chance of doing something in this race, killed by being bottlenecked from Mumu.
Yeah, he could be at least 5 seconds further up the grid at this point, but he will probably pit before Mumu and then come out. Well, if it depends what he puts on next. If I'm him, I'm wanting to put on another set of softs and trying to get away from the pack even more before I have to put on the medium tires.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't. One thing's for certain, I wouldn't end on medium tires. That's a recipe for disaster if you're trying to hold on to a position, and especially.
The thing is, though, this is such a long race. If you just someone's got a half second.
Yeah, there's a penalty in front.
Iron. And he's dropping a lot of time. He was 3 seconds ahead of Mumu, and now he's only 1.3. So I don't know if something's happened to him in that last chicane.
It's just the tires. Just look at the tires.
Yeah, maybe he's just losing the tires. Yeah.
Zico's tires. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
About quarter on that front right now, if that.
3 laps in a row in the 2 minutes as well for Zico. What's Mumu doing?
Mumu on the
59s. Yes, he's about a second a lap quicker.
It's not good news. Ooh, that was a bit wide. A bit loose there for Mumu in the Ford GT.
Unfortunately, he saved it.
Unfortunately, if you're looking at it from a title perspective. Again, he saved it. He is dicing with danger, playing with fire just a little bit here. I don't think you want to be
Astro's starting to catch
that.
up in a little bit now. He's back to a second behind.
Yeah, I know he's the World Series driver, but those mistakes do start to catch up with you eventually. It don't matter what skill level you're at. You're not impervious to that odd mistake. If he doesn't, well, he's just got to keep on tracking it. He's in an extremely good position though, as Mumu. For well, the NWR team as a whole is in an excellent position right now, and in a position where Project Platypus are going to, well, drop heavily off the back of them going into St. Croix next week if it was to end like this.
So is Astro going to be able to get Arjen here? Half a second. How big of a penalty is this half a second?
Mumu's getting him.
Mumu, he's caught up at the worst time.
Well, this is going to be interesting. Is he going to just elect to let his teammate?
I think he decided not to challenge him.
Jensen in the pit. Jensen is in the pit.
And Zico
as well, but Zico's got a lot better fuel than the rest of the NWR
and
boys
Mumu's
as a
off
whole.
his mediums. So Astro and Tim Grin are the only ones of the front runners who stayed out. Tim Grin has a 9-odd second lead.
Look,
so
he had to come off.
Yeah, he's run out of fuel.
Out of fuel. Yeah, that's it. Look at the fuel on these guys. They had to come off him. Zico was probably the only one that pit that may have been able to go one more. Alessandro potentially as well. Everyone else that come in all had to go in because of the fuel restraint. So this is going to be interesting. Jensen on the medium tires now went to 79% in fuel, so I assume it's a decent stint coming in here for Jensen on this medium tire. He's going to be
Arjen's ahead of Zico.
He is. Yeah, you are right.
Zico's got on the mediums, Arjen's on the soft, so he's got a perfect opportunity here with all this clear air in front of him, Arjen, so he can drive away from Zico. What about Mumu? He'll be on the soft, surely.
Yeah. 5.5 seconds ahead of Alessandro, who's jumped Oak.
Alessandro's jumped a few people.
Perry's gone on to mediums, down to the 13th. Montecat and Inkyo. Montecat's got 3 seconds to add to what has been a really, really devastating day for him on this track, apparently. Inkyo's not really doing much better. They're pretty comfortably off the back of Perry, who now has to go after Danny, who's gone the entire way, full tank and on medium tyres, so Perry is legitimately behind him. And that's going to be interesting to see what Perry does there then. PZN up into 11th as well on the mediums. Oak on the mediums. It looks like everyone's gone roughly the same, about 80% on the fuel with the medium tyre. With the medium tyre going on. Alessandro did a little bit less on the fuel tank, doing the same kind of way. Mumu on the softs. Obviously, he's on the reverse strategy to everyone else. Zico on mediums, Arjen on softs, who hasn't actually been on a medium tyre yet, so we'll have to keep an eye out on that. Anonymous, Cameron, Astro, and Natagren are all into the pits this lap. No doubt about that.
So the question is Arjen going to be able to jump Tim Grin? I'm going to say no, but Zico's dropped behind him, so it depends how much fuel and what kind of strategy Tim Grin's planning on doing. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Jensen's obviously going to come round and he's going to establish himself a substantial...
Oh, it's short.
No, he isn't. Atagren. Atagren's going to hit the lead.
This is a good strategy.
Oh, that's interesting. That is very interesting. So Atagren's playing the track position game.
Yeah. And it's worked out. It almost didn't work out for him, but he put in just enough fuel. Half a tank again for Tim Grin, whereas Jensen put in around about 80%. So he's on the mediums. He's going to lose a lot of track time now to Tim Grin on this, and Tim Grin's really got to make this stint count, essentially. Build up quite a big lead, and he won't have to deal with any other cars apart from Jensen between now and the end of the race if he gets this right.
Yeah, it's going to be another 11 laps. We just saw him do the 11 lap stint on the half fuel to start with. So it will be another 11 laps, so it will give him 30 to the end of the race when he pits next. I am going to be very intrigued to see how much of a gap he can build here. This needs to be...
It was already half a second up on when he came out of the pits.
Yeah, this gap needs to be the upside of 5 seconds, absolute minimum, by the end of this stint, if he's got any hope of keeping himself together in this one. Arjen 6 seconds further back off the back of Jensen, then it's Zico, and then it is Mumu. Mumu
on the softs is going to catch Zico pretty quick.
Astro Astro tried to do the same thing and has managed to get himself into the exact same predicament he was about 2 laps ago.
It's the undercut. Mumu on fresh softs, it was more than enough despite how much extra fuel he put. How much extra fuel did he put in?
He put in...
A little bit more.
He's currently on...
He probably came out with 60.
Yeah. Yeah, something in that region, I reckon. About 10%, maybe 10-15% extra than what it was in the tank for Astro. And that is a bad idea. That is a bad situation for Astro to be in, quite honestly.
It depends. How he couldn't get past Mumu. Now Zico's in the exact same situation on the mediums. If Mumu can get past Zico pretty quickly, Astro's got to try and get past him as well, which he wasn't able to do with Mumu. So
yeah.
Or maybe both of them will get stuck behind Zico. We'll have to see.
I guess that's what Zico's hoping for. That is definitely what Zico will be hoping for here. The problem is, even if he is in a 4GT, and 4GT may not be good around here, I don't actually know. He's a World Series driver. Good luck keeping a World Series driver behind you when that World Series driver is on a soft tyre compared to your medium tyre. That's not a favourable situation to be in the slightest. So he got his work cut out for him here, Zico. It didn't look great coming out of that corner there. He got a little bit sideways, and now he's going to have to defend into the hairpin.
Here we go.
It's not going to do much defending at all. He's just been blasted by. That didn't really, no real challenge, sure.
No, he's got a good exit. They're going to still be side by side into Spood, I reckon. Zico's got the best because this is a really long right-hander here.
It's interesting because,
quite frankly, that
4GT should be better in a straight line and turning at the high speeds as well.
And Zico's off.
Yeah, you could see that one coming from a mile away, didn't you?
It always happens at Spoon. You can't really go side by side into Spoon. So, yeah, Zico's lost that spot to Astro as well, which is great news for Astro. He doesn't have to do any overtaking.
Handed that one to him on a silver platter.
Absolutely. Unless Zico could come back here, this might be his only chance to get past Astro in this braking zone if he can get a run.
It's not happening. It's not happening. You're more chance of Astro going after Mumu than being attacked from behind. Through to the end of the lap here. Mumu about 4 tenths of a second up on Astro. The same kind of gap sits behind to Zico as well. As you see, I'm in front in this position, so we'll see how far he can try and open the gap to his teammate. Astro, I don't know whether or not that was a slide to the inside or trying to...
It was a fast slide. I don't think it was intentional, but it was quick.
Yeah, I said, don't know whether or not that was intentional or attempt to try to undercut the inside of Mumu there, or just a mistake which kind of worked. Either way, they've blown Zico out the water in this first sector. And, yeah, those two are going to drive away from the Project Platypus driver now. So Zico on the mediums is going to be on his own for a while. Mumu again in the deck, just not having a fun time in the slightest. And it's going to, one of these times, if you get the deck that's wrong, it's going to come back to bite him.
Yeah, but he knows how to race on the limit, though. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Interestingly, so Project Platypus second in the standings. No drivers in the top 5 at the moment. This is it's not great. I mean, it's still going to be good enough for P2, but I don't think it's looking good for bringing the championship fight into the final round. To be fair,
I would assume that gap is probably, if it was then like this, hitting triple digits. I would assume anyway.
Depends if Timbergrad could win. That's a big number of points that they're stopping these guys from getting.
Fastest lap points away from NWR as well. The standard at 58.2. You can imagine that's probably not going to be the fastest time. The time of the fastest lap by the end of this, though. And
so you get 80 points for the race win tonight. 75 for P2 and 70 for P3, all the way down to 15th, which is just 30 points. So, yeah, it's looking really strong for NWR. They're going to get, at the moment, first, third, and fourth. That is 148 points they're going to get.
would put him over the 7. I think it put him. Is it 700 mark? I think that would actually might hit again.
Oh yeah, they'd be over 700 for sure.
Yeah, yeah. That wouldn't be too far away from hitting the 1,000 mark again. Which I think they did last season in the end. I think they actually did top the 1,000. That ain't getting caught.
No, I don't think so.
That will ever be caught in ALR Esports. It's just absolutely an insane amount of points they put up last season. It has been a lot closer this season. It's been the first chink in the armor for NWR this season that they haven't really had since they joined. Obviously, FGR was their main rivals last time. We've had Aero win twice this season. So,
yep. For Aero GT though.
Yeah, it's been, and we've also seen 3 other races realistically, where they've been ran straight to the end. You've got to remember Daytona, Aero should have won that as well. Got handicapped himself with a penalty on the last lap. Almost lost it there. Then BX ran Calster to the line and honestly should have been a little bit more aggressive in when he was going for his moves in Deep Forest. So BX could have easily ran Calster to the end on that night, and obviously Attingren giving Mumu as good as he could have got last week in Tokyo. So it's not been all NWR's own way. There's not been that 1, 2, 3 that they got constantly last season.
So they're catching Iron pretty quickly here. What's Iron's lap times looking like? A good 1.3 seconds slower. Hold on. That was a really slow lap.
Yeah,
201. That's
That's
2.3 seconds slower than what Mumu did that last lap. And he's on the softs,
like
so he's definitely made a mistake somewhere.
Yeah, another lap like that, he's in trouble. He will be passed by both these drivers behind him if there's another lap like that. He might be on trouble with Zico as well, which would be good news to the rest of the grid. Not so much of a good news for NWR though. I wonder if it was a mistake that kind of brought him in and around, because he had been caught at the rate of knots here.
He's maybe going to let Mumu overtake and start backing up Astro a bit, who's looking a bit racy now. This may be a bit tactical. I'm not sure.
It might be, but if it is and this goes badly, it's 2 positions given up for absolutely no reason. The problem is that's not.
Yeah, it looks like he's struggling though.
Yeah, he's let him by. Let Mumu go. He didn't really have much of a choice, to be completely honest with you.
Astro wasn't close enough to try and follow through as well.
We will take a look at the order from P8 onwards in a minute. We're just figuring out how this is going to play out between the 3 drivers fighting for third. I don't look like Iron's in any sort of confidence in the slightest right now. He is struggling. The Swede needs to get by.
He's driving like I've taken over the reins.
The Swede needs to get by. He needs to take advantage of this way he can. Realistically, make a move, make something a little bit ambitious if you have to. This is the perfect opportunity to make Iron just make that mistake again. He's looking like a rhythm driver at the moment, one that needs that extra lap or 2 to get back up to speed.
Yeah, 2 minutes 6 for that one as well. So that's still 9/10 quicker, but he needs to be in the 59 solidly here to keep Astro behind.
Yeah, and then we're going into the S's, so it doesn't look like there's going to be too much damage done from Astro.
This is where he was really slow on the last lap.
Yeah, and then we'll look down. We've got Alessandro in 7th, who's 8 seconds ahead of Oak, and has cleared that gap by a long way. And then it's PZN in 9th, 1.1 off the back of Oak, so we are going to see a potential battle between those 2 in due course. Project Platypus cannot afford to lose any more places, that's a certain. Perry has got past Danny, and he sits in 10th and 11th. Inkyo is in 12th. Cameron is starting to work his way back toward the front after a calamitous lap earlier on in the race. That's the best way of describing that, because he would be up where we were watching in the first place if it wasn't for that one particular lap. Then it's Anonymous, and Monster Cat is tailed off the end.
Yeah, this is more like how he's been performing in Tier 2 as well.
Yeah, Astro has got past Iron. Astro is past Iron. There you go. It's continuing on. Iron has not had a good couple of laps at all here. It's just falling apart.
What did Kaboom do? Oh man, he was in
Oh,
fourth
Iron
place,
Mighty.
then he made 2 mistakes and dropped to 15th in the space of a lap.
Yeah.
So it was going so good for him. He was doing really good, but yeah, now it's a recovery drive.
Yeah, he was in fourth. He went wide at Spoon's curb, never really controlled it coming on, was facing the wrong way, got overtaken, came up to the Degners at the lap afterwards and went completely off into the wall. So, yeah, he's 2 corners, realistically, that has damaged his own race. I think it would have been early in the race. I think it was like lap 5 or something of that nature. Don't quote me on that, though. Would have been fairly early on into the race, though. It was just before his stop that he made. You have to take a look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Astro has cleared Iron 1.2 seconds. Iron is just struggling badly at the moment. He needs to figure out what he needs to do. He needs to figure out what he needs to do very quickly. Otherwise, you can see Zico in the back of the shot now. As Zico starts getting close
Bit
on
of a
the
mistake
mediums.
there for Zico.
Yeah. If Zico can get closer to Iron on the mediums here, Iron's going to have a lot of problems the rest of this race. You don't want to be behind multiple drivers that have done their medium stint if you've elected to do 2 softs on the start of this race.
How's Tim Grin looking at the moment?
4.5 seconds clear of Jensen, which is not the gap he would wish he would have, but he still has about 3
He's
or 4
slapping in the
laps
58s though. Yeah, and he's got the fastest lap of the race, so he's doing as
About
much as he
7
can. But the
tenths of a
problem is
second.
Jensen's in the 59s on the medium, so keeping him as honest as he can. Looks like he's not started losing time yet because he's still lapping in the 58s.
He is 11 seconds clear of Mumu in third, which is much bigger than the gap
he's looking,
that we had
he's
to
looking
third
good for
earlier
a
on.
P2. Yeah.
So I think, yeah, you are right in that regard. He is in very good position, and Live Racing Cabin will absolutely enjoy the 70-odd points that you receive for entering that top 2 spot. It be like a quarter of their current points tally in one position.
So he's dipped into the 59s now. Jensen he's still 4 tenths down on him.
Yeah.
So Tim Grid still has the pace for another couple of laps at least.
Those softs are about to hit 50 though.
Yeah.
Already. Well, that's where it's going to start swinging back in Jensen's favour. He hasn't quite got the 5 seconds I thought he would get. So that's not good news for Artingren there. Might leave him a little bit vulnerable to Jensen and Mumu down the line. Bearing in mind, both of them have already done their medium tyre stint. Jensen is on his now. Mumu did his to start. Artingren still has to do that medium tyre stint at some point. So that's going to be problematic later on in the race.
Unless it rains.
Yeah, unless it rains. The problem with that is we are currently 37 minutes in, and I don't see cloud, never mind rain. It's bone dry and as clear as sky as you can get for twilight anyway. It's going to take
That could easy change.
It would throw a little bit of a wrench in the system there. If it did, I would be very intrigued to see how everyone would take a rain cycle right now. It would very much level out the strategies as well. It would put Artingren in a massive position to win this race as a whole. If there was rain anytime soon, probably needs it a lot longer before again, Mumu, a little bit wide out of Spoon curve. That's not a corner we've been used to seeing him go wide. Don't really think he should keep making those mistakes. Rain lap 48, 49. Out 3 laps rain at the end would throw carnage into the mix. That's what that would do. Astro 2 seconds back, and then it's Zico ahead of Alessandro. Oak and PZN are going to go fighting.
I'll be back in a sec.
Oak and PZN are going to go fighting here. 0.8 of a second split these two. They're fighting for 8th right now. Oak for Project Platypus absolutely has to hold position as far and as long as he can. Has been on the medium tires so far. Alessandro's on the mediums as well, so there is no tire strategy advantage on either side for the group. of cars here. All three of them on the medium tyres. Alessandro 9 seconds ahead. Perry is back behind Danny. He is behind Inkyo as well, and he's going to go after Inkyo here, back into 12th. Goes Perry. Can Perry get himself up into 11th? Danny should be up into... Yeah, he's into the first corner as Danny, so he's lost quite a distance as well. It's not going well for Project Platypus, but a little bit of a solace there for Perry, and he goes right past the Italian and Dyden's way back into 11th. And Anonymous in the background, Cameron's in 14th because his race has gone from bad to worse. Another 2:07 in lap 17, and it's just not happening for Cameron in the slightest after his mistakes earlier on. Perry's 6 seconds off the back of Danny, so we know Perry's made a mistake. We know Cameron's made another mistake in some description. 2:09 on lap 18, yeah, that's definitely a mistake from Perry. In regard to that, he's got to figure that out. He has cleared Inkyo fairly quickly. He is a long way off the Aero GT driver in 10th, though. In turn, is a long way off the ITM driver, currently in 9th. The Italians doing fairly decently to work their way back through. Much like we saw from Project Platypus earlier on in this race, they don't really make much of a capitalization on it, though, did Project Platypus. So we'll see if ITM have a little bit of a position to make that work for them. Mo did a little bit of a slide there. That's been good. They're not really the best line, I'll tell you that much, but he is still 1.8 ahead of PZN, so advantage him at the moment. Iron is into the pits for a second time.
Ooh, just in time for the second stop, so let's go. Well, he needed to pit early, didn't he? Because he wasn't doing too good on that second stint. Maybe it was because of the undercut and the tyres were wearing a bit quicker than everyone else's.
It's interesting, because pit on lap 10, well, I think he pit on lap 10, and then pit on lap 20. It's going a lot less than the group, and that's not a good sign. That is not a good sign. Yeah,
looks like he's putting on his mediums now.
Yeah, he is. Danny could be trying to two-stop 100% on the heel on the mediums. I don't really see where that gains him anything. Unfortunately, though, that's the problem. He's 6 seconds off the back of PZN. Likes of Oak and Alessandro will clear him at the first glance. I don't really know that you're going to gain an awful lot by doing the two-stop, but there's no harm in trying it.
Is that Perry in the wars again?
Yes, Perry has had another incident, 2:09 on lap 18. Cameron has had another incident, 2:07 on lap 17. So those races have fallen apart since the start. Artingen still had the lead. Their gap is now under 4 seconds, and the gap looks about 11 still to third place. Mumu keeping it a little bit tighter through Spoon's curve that time.
Oak's having a good race. He qualified last of anyone who set a time in 13th, and now he's in 7th.
Yeah. He's done a good job holding off PZN as well, because those two were within a second of each other at one point, and now PZN has dropped over 1.7 back, so he is doing enough to handle the Italian threat.
Alessandro should maybe have qualified for ITM because he's clearly the best out of all of them in terms of pace so far in this one, coming from 15th to 6th right now. He'd be with the top 5, I reckon.
Yeah,
even though the top 5 are a bit more spread out. But...
with his practice sessions, he would have qualified inside the top 3.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit of a misstep from the ITM there, but at the same
more fun.
time,
it's more fun starting last, though, isn't it? So.
I also don't think he really accounted for PZN's PS4 having his wire yet,
well,
to be honest with you.
These are the kind of things you have to consider as a team captain.
Yeah, fair.
Just like making sure your whole team have bought wet tires for the season on the car that they're using. As a team captain, you should really be double checking that. Whack.
Yeah, whack. Yeah, but for reference, those are rage quits. Definitely are counted as rage quits going forward. But I think we plan on wiping rage quits at the end of each season. So we're
discussing. We haven't decided yet. We're discussing.
Yeah,
we'll announce what we're doing at the end.
Yeah, we've got to figure that out. See if that will carry over. But they are definitely going to count.
Yeah, they are rage quits because at the end of the day, if you forget to buy wet tires and it pours down, and you have to quit the race because you physically can't drive, that is still a quit. That is your own fault. Everyone else were capable of buying them, so
entirely self-inflicted. But yeah,
I wonder if everyone's actually bought rain tires for this one.
You'd think people have learnt the lesson.
You would think, but we know that people don't think in ALR. So. Here we go, Tim Gr3, what's he gonna do now?
I actually don't know whether or not there's probably is the better time to put the medium tires on.
It seems like the normal time, but he might want to stay on the softs because he's so far out in the front. Instead, because the unknown for Tim Gr3 is if he puts on mediums, there are drivers that he could potentially fall into the clutches of.
The answer is how quickly is Jensen? Where is Jensen going to be in regard to Attengren when Jensen makes his second stop? That's the question Attengren's going to have to ask himself.
Jensen's still got almost a quarter of a tank left, so he's not coming in anytime soon. Yeah, so this should be an even bigger gap, but the problem is he's got Alessandro right in front of him that he's going to have to get past pretty fast here.
He's 10 seconds behind him. I don't really know if he's worked through this one, to be honest with you. I think he was hoping he could have beat Alessandro out. I think that might have been the thinking. It's not worked. This could be problematic. He needs to get past the Italian as soon as humanly possible. Alessandro not paying for a while, so it's got to be done on track. I wonder
he could absolutely send it into this next braking zone if he's brave.
He's not going to. He's not going to. The Finn not electing to make the move there. And when you've got to realize that Z4 on the acceleration is going to be far too much out of the corner, so he's got to go in. He's got to try and make that move into a corner, because if he tries to get him on a straight, he's going to struggle. Even in the GTR is not necessarily a straight line speed car. It probably has a better top end than the Z4 will.
Yeah, but we'll never see it. It actually sucks at 6th gear, the GTR.
Here we go. Is Attengren going to get a good enough exit to try and push Alessandro here? He's going to have to make a move, because the longer he waits here, the worse this gets. He's going around the outside at 130R. This could be interesting. This could be disastrous. He's off the track. And he is still behind Alessandro, who stayed ahead for now. So Alessandro wins out in that battle. Attengren could have really done with that one. That is going to be problematic for him. Heavily problematic for him.
That 201 for Alessandro as well. This is costing Tim Gr3 multiple seconds per lap stuck behind Alessandro here.
Yeah, he has to get by.
He's also dropped a second on Jensen since he's come out the pits.
He's got to force a way through here. I don't know where he's going to be able to force his way through against the car that is just godly on acceleration. He's got to force an opportunity somewhere. He keeps going inside, outside to Alessandro, potentially lining up a move, trying to force the Italian into a mistake. But the Italian's got nothing to really lose here. Started from the back, made his way through quite heavily. And Attengren
not into the Technus. No, that's not a good idea.
That somehow didn't end badly. That is pretty good racing to avoid a crash, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this hairpin, this is where he needs to send it, this hairpin, but he's not feeling confident in doing that.
Oh! Not confident on the exit of it either. It is not promising for Attengren here in the slightest. I think he's made an oversight here, considering he could have put the fuel and gone onto the medium tyres and got out ahead of Oak quite handsomely, had the clean air, and never really encountered Alessandro. I think he's made an error here. I think he should have gone to the mediums, if I'm completely honest with you.
Yeah, he's dropped a second on Jensen now. Instead of closing the gap on Jensen, he's going to have to go around the outside again, or is he going to try and... He needs to just stay behind, I reckon. Moves into the pits. They're both breaking into 130R.
I think Alessandro knew he was trying to go underneath, and that's why Alessandro was starting to brake. Attengren's in trouble. He is bleeding time here, and he's not able to stop the bleeding because of the car he'd gone up against. It is a bad situation for Artigren to find himself in here. He's got to go for this.
3 seconds he's losing a lap here.
He's got to go for this. It's got to be now. It's got to be now. Down into turn 1. If he keeps it on the track, which he has done, he is finally ahead. But how much damage has been behind Alessandro for 2 whole laps done to his race?
I reckon 6 seconds. He's lost about 6 seconds there.
That is harmful. That is extremely harmful. Mumu is onto the softs. Astro has pit again and has put himself ahead of Mumu this time.
But now he's going to have to do the same and get past Oak.
Yeah.
And what's Oak on the mediums?
Oak is on the mediums, yeah. Mumu has to do the same to PZN in the minute here as well. But I think Astro's in a far better position than it matters because Oak can't keep it straight out the second of the Degner anyway. Given the opportunity here, Astro just goes straight to the inside and says thank you very much. That's how you get rid of someone on a lap. That's about as effective as you could do it.
So that was pretty quick for Astro, actually. Damage limitation there. And now Oak's probably coming in at the end of this lap, to be honest. It looked like he was pretty low on fuel. Maybe he's going to do one more.
It's certainly going to be interesting. Him and PZN probably going to end up getting out of the way before Mumu has to encounter them. Maybe not PZN so much, but definitely Oak. In the end of this lap here on lap 25, we're almost at the halfway point in this race. 50 minutes in. We go about an hour and 45 minutes or so, I reckon, overall race time.
Yeah, makes sense.
It looks like Mumu is still not ahead of PZN. Is PZN going to drop in? No, he is not. So Mumu actually has to make an overturn.
Ooh, he's going.
That was a difficult. He's alongside already, well before turn 1 hit. This is not going to be any difficult for Mumu here. No difficulty to that move. And he passed up in a 7th then. Oak stayed out as well, by the way.
Oak has stayed out, so Mumu might catch up before the end of the lap as well with how fresh his tyres are looking.
I wonder how much of a gap Astro can create in this scenario. That's the question. Don't forget Astro has to use the mediums at some point in this race still. But
yeah, that's the problem.
How much of a gap to Mumu can he create right now? Because this is the biggest opportunity he's going to have against Mumu the entire night. This right here to build as much of a gap while Oak is essentially handcuffing him. Handcuffing Mumu for about half a lap here. Just to break as much of a gap as possible. Mumu to the inside! Mumu is ahead! And
that was fast.
Again, did not really take long.
No.
Oak not defending in the slightest against the guys on the soft tyres. Whether or not that's intentional or not is up for debate. But Astro did clear 3.5 second gap. Jensen in the pits. Okay, so this is the interesting situation. Artigren has been able to put in a 158.2 on the last lap, literally 1,000th of a second slower than the quickest lap of the race. The problem is the 201 before that.
He's in a tough position here. Let's see what the gap between him and Jensen's going to be. Add 6 seconds onto it because he got stuck behind Alessandro for so long.
I'd like to point out Zico has a lot more fuel than what Jensen had as well, so Zico's going to cut down the gap a little bit.
Yeah.
Half the tank and softs going on the car for Jensen. We know that it can only do 11 laps, so I'm fairly intrigued at what the plan is here. He's going to go to about 38 and then 14 to the end. Unless he's going to try and do 12 and 13, but I would assume he had to put a lot more fuel in for that.
So Timgren would have had about a 10-second lead here, and now it's only 4.6.
It's exactly what it was prior to the pit stop.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So the undercut is
entirely wiped away.
Pointless. Yeah, wiped away.
That's the bad news for him. If he had the undercut, he would have been significantly further ahead. They would have both been on soft tyres now, so it would have been a test of actual skill and team in terms of what pace they can do to see if Attengren could hold a substantial advantage going into the medium tyre run.
What's happening with Arjen and Danny? They look like they're close together.
That's 0.6 of a second, but the problem is Danny's got an attempted 2-stop here. by the sound of things. I don't know whether or not that's going to work.
Alessandro looks like he's come out just ahead of Inkyo.
Yeah. Cameron there in 10th. PZN is in the pits. Oak came out the pits, so PZN has jumped Oak.
Yeah, he's jumped him.
He's jumped Oak there. Perry, Anonymous, and Montecat at the back of the grid. Montecat is flirting dangerously close to being lapped already, given the fact that we're only halfway through this race. The 124 back off the lead on the same amount of pit stops. He's on the medium tyres now as well, so I think I'm just going to bleed that time. There is a real possibility we might encounter, well, blue flag that aren't blue flags. The flag rules technically don't exist.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting scenario.
No, explain that. What?
So, we elected a while ago in this server to not, well, in the esports part of it anyway, to not have flag rules on as the setting in GT, which means the blue flags aren't going to show when it comes to it. They are still somewhat expected to follow blue flag rules within reasonable limits, I guess, is probably the best way of saying that, but they aren't going to get...
If you're getting laps, you need to get out of the way, but they're not going to actually show on the screen.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Essentially, it's not going to fly, it's not going to go early, because obviously blue flags at GT are interesting, to say at the least.
Yeah, they start really early on.
They start ridiculously early on. So we have just essentially said, you do technically have to get out of the way, but you're not going to get flagged to do it. You have to do it on your own accord, essentially. It's what I understand. What prompted this decision? I can't remember.
Someone suggested it, probably.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I don't understand why.
It was a vote a long time ago, and I could be explaining that rule a little bit wrong. So if BX or whack it in the chat, the BS yellow flag penalties. Okay.
Oh, yeah. You've turned off all flags, not just blue flags.
The actual setting, the flag rule setting in GT is turned off. Anonymous, off the track there. Yeah, the flag rule setting in GT has been turned off, so that does, and it does take
to be fair,
the yellows and the blues.
I've been a victim of that. So in Fuji the other week, I pit early, put on the inters at the right time. Everyone else was spinning off the track, and I was just overtaking them normally, and they were going super slow, and I got 3-second penalties for overtaking these cars that were all over the place, and it was BS. So I understand. Maybe we need to consider that actually for Monday League.
It could be something to look into. That's a certain. But yeah, I had to explain that in the context of blue flags, because I don't think the yellow flags are going to come into much of an effect here in the slightest. I don't see rain coming anytime soon. So it had to be explained within the context of the blue flags, which might actually be a possibility.
Because can you imagine, like, Dragon Trail, for example, at Death Chicane, the yellow flags come on quite often there and give... Oh, is Cameron... He's still has to come into the pits, Cameron, so he might get overtaken here on his worn mediums. Oh yeah, he's not going to be coming in, so they need to overtake him on track. Yeah,
not on fuel anyway. In comes Inkyo into the pits then. His medium tyres going... Well, his fuel going, his medium tyres are probably going to come off the car as well for good measure. Problem is now Oak and PZN have got to actually make a move on Cameron, and it doesn't look like it's going to be too much of a problem for PZN, who's going to the inside. Oak is trying to follow through a hole. I'm not sure what hole he's seen. But actually, it looks like he may have actually seen a hole there. Maybe opening a little bit late, but... ahead nonetheless. I don't know if there was any contact on the way through. Again,
it didn't look like it. It looked like Cameron was just caught on the outside and couldn't sweep back in to close off Oak there, and now he's just dropping back like a stone.
It's a good move from Oak, especially if he's done it without contact. Also, Danny's about to get... I don't actually know. I don't think... Are they shown? Either way, it's not a penalty for not doing it. That was the point we were getting across. But yeah, it's not necessarily... The flags were done for penalty reasons. It was having to be the context. We had to explain it and made it a little bit more difficult. Iron is comfortably ahead.
Mumu looks like he's catching Astro, and Jensen looks like he's catching Timgren as well.
And you would be right in both scenarios. They're the fastest lap of the race of the whole... Purple by 4 hundredths of a second there. I'm not entirely sure who had it prior. Well, looked like it may have been Jensen's own lap. It was Jensen's own lap. 58.1 on 28, 58.0 on 29. So Jensen is putting in some electric pace, and this is why Attengren would have much rather had that cushion on the undercut to actually have. That was wiped away with his battle with Alessandro. Jensen is in a very, very, very strong position. Now he's purple in the first sector again. Astro ahead of Mumu, but again, yeah, he's getting absolutely blitzed by Mumu at the moment, Astro, on the last couple of laps. About 1 second between the two, and the NWR drivers are just starting to get into the extra gear now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're on a charge now.
They've hit the point in the race where we may be going into the night time, but it's anything but dark for NWR right now. And through Zico in his own little world, same goes for Iron. Alessandro is past, it's Danny C, and that did not take long. At all. 1.4 clear as well, as Alessandro is going to go after Iron, who's on the medium tyres now. So Alessandro, still, realistically, a potential chance at the top 6 in this race after starting at the back.
If he manages to do that, I think that means every team has someone in the top 6.
Let's have a look. It would be the case, yeah. The only duplicate would be NWR, would be Jensen and Mumu. Every other team would have one in the top 6. The only problem is the one with the duplicate is the one leading the championship.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're leading the championship, let's be honest. It is races like this.
Probably stick with Jensen. I think he's caught right up now.
Oh, he has. Yep, you are right. He absolutely has. He's half a second off. 58.4 on the last lap to a 2-minute 0. 2-minute 1, sorry. That is a shot in the foot. Mumu looking around the outside of Astro, so he'd have to go away to chip away just a little second. Mumu is trying to hang it on, and he has hung it around the outside of Astro there. Wow. Okay, fair enough. Fair play. Wasn't quite expecting that one, but Mumu has made that one look very easy.
Yeah, now what can Jensen do to respond? Extra points for NWR on the table here. Tim Gren's done an incredible job up to now. Now we have to see what he can do for the rest of this soft stint, and what is he going to be battling, losing more time, knowing that he has to go on the mediums, or is he going to let Jensen through when he gets a chance? That's the question. I don't think Tim Gren will be keen to lose P1.
I don't think Tim Gren's going to have a choice. Look at the tyres.
Yeah.
He's not going to have a choice. He's not going to have a say in the matter here. Jensen's going by, and it's going to be a case of when, not if. That's the case. If you're Attengren, you're probably going to fight him because you need him to lose as much time as humanly possible. But at the same time, you wouldn't be complaining if you was able to hang on to the back of him if that was the scenario that ended up unfolding. Now, you've got to force Jensen into a mistake here. Realistically, that's the only chance you stand. Good luck with that, though. Jensen is not one for mistakes outside of Canada.
We've seen him make a few mistakes over the years. Oh, here he goes, though. He's on the inside already.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think it's going to matter now, though. Here we go. Jensen to take the lead of the race back for the first time in about 10-15 laps, and he does so to the inside at turn 1. And Attengren is going to struggle to hold him here, hold to the back of him. This is going to be problematic if anyone wants to stop Jensen and the GTR 13 from winning this race.
Tim Gren could have probably pinched the inside a little bit better to stop Jensen going on the inside and kept that position if he really wanted to.
Yeah, the problem is you only have so much tyres. Yeah, Danny C is into the pits on lap 32, so he is going to go to the end on a soft medium stint here.
We'll have to see if he puts on the mediums, yeah.
Mumu has cleared Astro by 1.6 seconds. Zico has a half-second penalty, which is going to do precisely absolutely nothing to his position.
Has Zico been on the mediums? I think his second stint was mediums, wasn't it?
So, yeah. His second stint was the mediums. Iron is on the mediums now with Alessandro, who is absolutely charging him down. That is 2.1 seconds now. And Alessandro, when they both go to soft tyres on their next stint, it's going to be in a very good position to take Iron here, to be honest with you. I don't really see Iron having a lot of fight in this one.
Yeah.
Again, it's going to be dark. Maybe the visuals are going to make for a couple of extra mistakes from the drivers here now that they will be driving in the pitch black. Suzuka doesn't really have a lot of light.
These are the two Z4s as well, Ian and Alessandro, aren't they?
Yep, it is the two Z4s we currently have on the track going head to head.
So this is probably their pace, the Z4s. If you're thinking about what to race in Suzuka, it doesn't seem like one of the stronger cars. Interestingly, the GTR, the 18 version, is falling back now. Zico and Tim Grin obviously qualified at the front, and they're falling a bit further behind. Tim Grin's obviously going to probably start falling behind when he puts on the mediums even more. So it's a bit difficult to know because the other cars are just banter cars that are in the top three.
I was about to say, Jensen and Mumu are in cars that you wouldn't be testing on this track. However, there is actually someone in the Ford GT for the Suzuka race, as far as I'm aware. So they are just going to sit here and stare at Mumu's race for the next God knows how long and try to figure it out. I believe so. I think it's Epsilon team, no? They were talking about being in the Ford GT. Which I remember because I remember responding that was suicide.
That is certainly a choice. They'll be seeing this thinking, oh yeah, we'll easily be able to do that then. It's got to have good tyres at least. I mean, and it's got good on fuel as well, the Ford GT, but not too good at cornering.
But the old Ford, that's probably worse. That's probably a worse choice.
What, the Spec 2 Le Mans thing?
If it's the old Ford GT, that's significantly worse. Eli, do you think anybody respects yellow flags on a video game? I'm sorry, but yellow flags on a video game is drive faster than the position available for you.
Yeah, everyone just drives flat out anyway, and then they get the 3-second penalty for overtaking under yellows.
Yeah, that's probably the situation.
So Cameron's just come out of the pits. He's 6.8 ahead of Monster Cat, 7.5 behind Anonyma on his mediums now. Looks like he's fueled to the end though.
Yeah.
Whereas Anonyma, does he have to come in again? Yes.
He almost certainly, and had the half-second penalty.
And that's a half-second.
The gap just a little bit. I don't think
Danny, I think won't have to. Let's see what Danny's on.
I will in 1 second. We have a couple of moves going on. We'll go Alessandro and Ian first, and then Attingren's pitting at the front. So all that just happened at the same time. Ian and Alessandro. Are they going to have a position switch between the two of them through 130R? Alessandro looking to the outside. It doesn't really look like Alessandro is going to make that move into the chicane. On the exit of the chicane, it should be a lot nicer for Alessandro. I would imagine the Dutchman's going to try and do everything in his power to save this position.
Tim Grin's going to be behind Alessandro once again.
He's on the mediums now.
Mediums with 80%. Is that enough to get to the end, do you think?
Yes. If he's done 11 laps with half a tank. He's done 11 laps with half a tank. What, 3/4 of a tank should be somewhere in the region of about 16 laps. It might be. I don't know. I would assume he's done the maths. I would assume he's done
16
the maths
laps is lap 40 though.
Yeah.
So that means he'll be pitting again to do another.
6. Yeah. I'm not sure. I assume he's done the maths. I would like to think he has anyway. Either that or this could be one hell of a blunder. That's one way of saying it. But I would go on a limb and say he's going mediums to the end here. We'll have a look in a minute. Do you say Danny C after, as well?
Yeah, what's Danny C? How much fuel he's got in his tank?
Went full. Yeah, he's going to the end. He went full. He pit on the end of lap 1.
That should be fine.
Yeah, he's definitely going to the end here then. Well, he's going to try. Astro is onto the medium tyres now as well. He's going to the end, so it looks like that is just how much you have to put in for the medium tyres to get to the end here. We'll go back to this battle then, because Alessandro is still trying to get iron and has had no success with this over the last lap.
He's getting a taste of his own medicine from earlier.
He is. Definitely is. And we'll see if there's going to be any sort of move here. He's got to make a move to see if he can try and get himself to finish in the top 6. He looked for it there. You can see he definitely looked for it. Maybe just a look to see if Iron would make a mistake, but no mistake made. And Attengren is the next car up. Attengren is starting to close in just a little bit. I say that and he immediately loses 2 attempts out the final corner.
Yeah, but Alessandro lapping in the 2-minute ones for 2 laps in a row now. So this is really, really punishing him.
Almost identical laps.
Yeah.
Literally 9 parts of the second split the two. Split the 2 laps there. Iron is really holding him at the moment, and it's not a good sign. Zico's got a pit, Mumu's got a pit, Jensen's got a pit. Attengren hasn't, Astro hasn't. So that's going to be interesting to see where they all come out here. Jensen has a 12-second lead to his teammate. We know that gap was not too big to Attengren at the end of Attengren's stint. Obviously, Jensen's gone for a few laps since then.
Maybe we need to be testing out the 2013 GTR. Seems to have the pace and it's got much better tyres.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, Ross. No.
Someone's going to turn up to the 12 hours in that car. I can guarantee it.
I'm going to have fun absolutely ripping on them for however long I end up doing comms in that 12-hour session. It's what I'm going to do. For those who are watching, you do have to realise, unless it is Jensen and Mumu who end up turning up in said car. Here comes Alessandro. We'll talk about that in a minute, actually. Alessandro looking to the outside here on Iron. Is there going to be a move? Iron going wide. Iron gone very wide. It's a little bit of a dummy move here from Alessandro. And Iron is off the track ever so slightly. Alessandro has an opportunity. He has 3/4 of his car ahead and now has a car left out ahead of Iron. Iron looks to try and fight that back straight away. Alessandro slammed that door shut. And Alessandro is ahead of Iron here and up in the 4th for now then.
Yeah, it was run really with Iron's decision to go defensive into Spoon, so it just, the way that corner is, such a long left-hander just pushes him to the outside. Alessandro just slotting on the inside there, able to take the exit of the corner ahead and then wins the drag race as well. Yeah,
it was just pretty good decision making from Alessandro there. And it's one that he's had to do for a couple of laps now because, as you can tell, to Attengren behind, they were bleeding time. Which is
now, what's Ian going to do? This is probably his in lap. He's only 7/10 ahead of Tim Gren, who's obviously battling with Jensen and potentially Mumu by the end of it as well.
Yeah, it's both of their in laps in front. So Attengren probably wish he had about half a lap to catch up here rather than being right on the back of Iron straight away. But this may open the door for a move. Let's see. Is there anything going on? Attengren not making a move into the Degners. Still electing to follow the burgundy red car that he's been seeing for a long time in this race. Not necessarily Iron, but just that liveried car in particular. I am very intrigued. Here comes
here he goes.
Attengren to the inside of the hairpin. Slammed that door shut on the exit, and Iron never really stood a chance.
Yeah, left the door open. Now Iron's going to try and pull alongside, but he's not going to... Well, he might do, actually. With the acceleration of that Z4, he's going to have a tiny bit of his car there. Is he going to send it?
Ooh, Attengren gets a little bit sideways on the entrance there. He almost rallied his car around the outside of Iron.
Now, the gap is 40 seconds to Jensen. Obviously, Jensen's got to fuel up to the end of the race. This might be pretty close between the two of them.
Well, we're about to find out.
Jensen's going to be putting on the softs.
I would imagine that
this is a long
has
soft
a substantial lead here. And maybe a 5-6 second advantage, potentially. Depending on how this is going to fall. How much fuel did he have to put in? Putting that much in, is this potentially another medium stint? It is! Yeah, it's another medium stint!
I was going to say.
Oh, okay. Well, this now gets very interesting.
Hold on. He's got a huge lead.
He does. Attengren's not going to the end under this understanding. Look how much less fuel he had than Jensen.
Yeah, but the 18 version has
18
much better
goes,
fuel than
yeah,
the 13 version, and the 13 version has better tires than the 18 version. That's the
that is
difference
also
between the two
true.
of them.
As I said, I did say it would be about 5 seconds. I maybe underestimated the amount of laps Jensen did on the softs.
Yeah, Jensen not losing much time on those softs at the end. This is what doing the overcut really benefits you from. You never have to risk getting stuck in traffic, which has happened to Tim Gren twice in a row now.
Yeah.
And yeah, without losing all that time, he would be ahead of Jensen right now.
We'd certainly be giving him
Which
a run
shows
for
that
his
his
money
strategy
anyway.
was the quicker one up to this point in the race. But when you have to factor in every other car on the grid, Jensen's undoubtedly had the better strategy, and he's been able to do that because this version of the Nissan is a better car on the tires, so he's been able to push for a lot longer.
Yeah. That's the trade-off you have to make, though, isn't it? That is the calculation you have to make at the beginning of the season when you're choosing your car, or when you're about to race for the first time, I guess, in esports. But these two have been racing since literally the very first race of Lago Maggiore, so both points stand. It's one that Jensen will take, though. It's a nice race here for Jensen. This car realistically isn't going to get challenged from here on out.
Not unless something strange happens. Now the question is, Tim Gren is going to be, well, he's currently 26 ahead of Mumu.
And we just found out that Jensen's pit stop anyway. It's about 34 seconds.
Yeah,
Problem
and
is,
Mumu's going to have to put in less fuel again. Is he coming in now?
And it's
at the end of this lap?
Potentially for Mumu here. Maybe
I think he...
It's going to be close. It's going to be all right on the edge, whether or not he wants to go mediums for 14 or softs for 14.
He could do 14 on the softs for sure.
Tires are very, in terms of going on as Zico's position anyway, tires would have been very risky on 14. They did 11 fairly easily. 14 might be pushing it toward the end. We'll wait and see. He is coming in this lap. He doesn't really have much of a choice. So we'll wait and see whether or not he is going to go. If he goes to soft here, he's in a very good position to get at least Attengren.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, so we'll go back to Mumu and he comes into the pits. Astro's in his own little wall. Zico 3 seconds ahead of Alessandro. We're in a position where Alessandro, if he does this stint right, actually from the back of the grid, might end in the top 5. Like, there is a legitimate chance. If Alessandro had a little bit more pace than Zico does, there is an opportunity for him by the end of this race to end in the top 5. Which is
only 3 seconds back. This is why he should have qualified.
Yeah, honestly, with the amount of points on offer, you probably should have considered qualifying. Especially if this is what he's done without qualifying.
Especially with how the race panned out for Monster Cat as well.
Yeah, quite frankly.
Oh, here comes Mumu in the pits now with 0% fuel left.
Something tells me it should have been Montecat that didn't qualify. From a strategic point of view, anyway. Cameron is 1.1 off the back of Anonyma. Perry is still trying to exist there. Problem for Perry is nobody in front of him has to pit again.
Why is Perry down in 14th?
Anonyma does. Perry has had a race. That's about as good as I could give him. Attengren is out of the pits. It's 69% fuel for Mumu. It is a soft tyre.
What's the gap going to be? Maybe about 7 seconds by the time he gets up to speed. Can he close 7 seconds in? I think he can.
I reckon he would be able to do so.
That's about half a second a lap quicker, just a bit more than that, than Tim Gren that he has to beat.
I personally don't see... It's going to be interesting. He'll definitely get... He won't get anywhere near Jensen, but I think he gets Attengren realistically.
Yeah. So the 1-2 is definitely on the cards for NWR.
Yeah, it's not a scene we've seen very often for NWR this season, admittedly. You got to remember, Daytona was not a 1-2. And neither was Deep Forest, and Tokyo wasn't either. That obviously not counting the 2 races that were won by Aero GT in the first place. So that's 5 of the 6 races coming into tonight where a 1-2 didn't happen. I think it only happened on race 1 of the season.
Well, they're showing up at the most important times. Race 1, build the lead. And then obviously, I don't know if they picked the cars for Suzuka. And what's the race next week?
Saint Croix, which is
Which
probably why the
version?
Ford GT would put C reverse, I think it is.
C. Okay, C's not the highest speed one. I think A's the highest, isn't it?
C is the longest track.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, C is the long form track. It's
So
done
that'll
that way.
really suit Moo next week.
Yeah, I was about to say it's done that way.
And the Vipers will be back, I'm sure. BX will be back in the Viper.
100%. It is one of those tracks where it's acceleration and top speed 100% for that kind of track. But it's done in the way that we have four, obviously, you'll know this, but just refreshing everyone's memories. We have, at the end of a season, the ability to pick one of four tracks. They are on a rotating cycle, so it's already predetermined a long way in the distance. But those tracks are the Nordschleife in any of its capacities that include the Nordschleife circuit, Le Mans, Saint Croix C, and then Bathurst. So the three longest tracks in the game that isn't Route X, because we're not running a race on Route X. And
maybe one day.
And then also something that could widely be considered one of the hardest tracks on the game. So that's why we made the four what it is at the end of the season. Saint Croix being the third longest track, I think, and it is that season, that time of the season again, for that kind of track to be put in. I think we're going back to the Nordschleife next season to end off season 9. So all starts all over again. Someone saying that Cameron's blessing their eyes with this performance.
Where is he now?
He is 12th.
Well, he's recovering quite well from 15th.
I had a lot of 201s in the
But
in
where's
a row.
Perry? Is Perry on the softs?
Perry is not on the softs, but he is on fresh mediums.
But he is about a second a lap quicker as well.
Can we make a Lobby C next round for Mr. Lobby C Hill? Oof. Oof indeed. Oh,
well, we'll have to see how many lobbies we have next season, actually.
Oh, on course.
Will there be a lobby D?
Well, at least on course for 3 at the moment. Hopefully I'm going to do a bit of reaching out to a few teams. See if they can get any sort of interest from those. Do have a couple of teams that might be on the list to return coming into next season, from what I am aware of.
I hope Apex come back.
Apex are coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was confirmed to me at the beginning of the week. Hollywood messaged me saying that they were going to come back. So they were in this season. They just didn't qualify.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping that not qualifying didn't put them off.
It doesn't look like it has put them off, so they'll be back. That's good to see. I think we're currently at 12 that have said yes, from what I'm aware.
I think Apex are the only team to have done pretty much everything you could do in esports. Qualify for the final 2 rounds of the season, not qualify for the final 2 rounds of the season, and not qualify for the season at all.
This is the first attempt at that. Also, Alessandro has just been blown out the water by Zico on this.
Yeah, Zico's looks like he's got the hang of things. Unless, yeah, Alessandro in the 2 minutes. So it's not actually doing badly. He's just not got as much pace on the mediums. Zico dipping into the 59s on the mediums, doing a pretty good job there.
One thing for certain is this situation. It's now 4 seconds. There's no scenario at all where I see Mumu not beating Attigren here.
Unless Tim Gren puts in the defensive performance of his life. If he could keep Mumu behind until Mumu's tires start dying. The thing is, I don't know if this is still the case, but when the GTR 18 first came out, and Tijni did a whole video on this, the dirty air that the GTR gives is much worse than other cars, and it's much more difficult to follow. So I don't know if they fixed that with all the physics updates and stuff that have come out in the year or 2 that we've had the GTR, but that definitely used to be the case. And if it is still the case, then Tim Gren has a chance to keep Mumu behind. It
makes it a non-zero chance. Quite frankly, the speed of that GTR, the speed of the Ford GT, rather, not GTR, not the wrong car, wrong side of the planet, in terms of the car manufacturer as well. But that speed on that Ford GT should realistically do the damage when it comes to the against the GTR. I really, the back straight heading in through 130R, and then obviously down the run down towards turn 1 are not going to suit Attengren, and the problem is that that's probably the two biggest overtaking points of this track.
Go to the battle for 9th. It looks pretty close on the mini-map.
Oh,
never mind.
Get to see it.
Danny was really close behind by the looks of things, and now he's got Oak not too far back. He's on the mediums. Oak's on much fresher mediums, so Oak might be able to get another position. Battle between Aero and Project Platypus. I think there's about 30-odd points between them at the moment. Maybe a bit more. Let's check.
In the battle of who can get second, with the way that
the battle
NWR
for
is driving
P2.
today.
Oh no, there's a 120-point gap between them. So Aero needed to be doing a lot better.
Small chunk into that gap, I guess. You're going to have to do something special next week to overturn a 120-point gap, I'll tell you that much. Especially when BX is going to be back with the Viper. I assume BX will be back with the Viper, and if he is, then BX had a chance of winning that race. Never mind.
And Mortal surely will be back in the other Viper for Project Platypus.
Yeah. The problem that Project Platypus had is the races that they had made bad mistakes on, like this one, like the strategy last week at Tokyo, are races that NWR have not made mistakes in the slightest. Not really made much of a damage, not really done anything. Like, NWR, you could just sit and put their feet up with the way that this has gone. And next week, when Project Platypus have the actual opportunity to take a fight to NWR, it'll be too little too late.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, actually, what every team does for next season. Because this season was they had a lot of tracks that would favour high-speed cars like the Ford GT, like the Viper. Next season, especially in the opening 6 rounds, doesn't have anything like that.
Yeah, I can imagine. It would be a perfect calendar for the Aston Martin if we hadn't banned that.
True.
But there is, in fact, a reason why we banned it.
Well, there's a new Porsche to take into consideration.
That is true. That is true. Can't wait. I can't wait to see how that affects everything.
That Ferrari, I don't think it's got the best pace, but it does have great tyres, especially, and fuel, which might come into account. But I'm thinking about the FR cars. Is it going to be an MR calendar, or is there going to be something that the FR drivers can do with like the downforce to kind of bring it a bit closer? I think the Citroen's going to be really strong next season again.
Yeah, I would about to say the Citroen will be a very good contender in terms of that, in terms of being at the front. I think it'll be interesting because obviously with the way that esports is situated, if we end up having a calendar that is low speed kind of cornering tracks, you're only allowed 2 of the same car. So you have to, if you have your 8 drivers, that means you have to have at least 4 cars. You have to find at least 4 cars that are good at certain tracks, or multiple tracks, depending on if you have to have that driver race multiple times. So that's where the difficulty of finding a balance in esports lies, and I love the fact that we have that kind of balance. There's a fight going on a little bit forward between Oak and Danny C, so we'll go and have a look at that.
Yeah, there's not really any tracks where you could say, right, there's one car that's clearly the meta. I mean, you've got Spa, you've got Sardinia B, and you've got Yas Marina, which might suit a certain car, and then you've got Autopolis, Atlanta, and Fuji, which I think are all better for the MRs.
Yeah.
So maybe you could split it that way.
It's going to be interesting to see what they divide up, to see, well, who's going to come out on top if NWR are to come back, and we'll see.
Ooh, what is going on between these guys?
Yeah, I was about to say, neither of them decided that they liked the track, apparently, through the Hex Hill 130 on. That's going to allow Danny to hang on. I don't think
they need to start giving time
damage.
penalties for going wide there.
Out front.
Oh, Tim Grin, no!
Massive out front. Oh, no,
oh my God!
It's been in solidarity for months in the background.
Get the replay on. I want to see what happened to Tim Grin.
If it will. I'm spamming the commercial button.
I don't. Yeah, it's not working.
Nope.
So
Of course it does it now. Well, there's damage to the front of his car anyway, so I can only assume it's on the exit of the second of the deck now. Not that we're going to get a thing.
yeah, I think he lost it on the exit and got some oversteer. He's now well, he's still got a 7-second gap to Astro. What tires are Astro on?
Astro is on medium.
Oh, on exact, yeah. So as long as he doesn't make any more mistakes, he should still have the podium. And he probably was going to lose that spot to Mumu anyway. So
yeah, Mumu had him covered pretty much the entire way down the line. The real question, I don't think Mumu's a second a lap quicker than Jensen, so I don't think he's going to have much of a chance. You can just hear me spamming my keyboard to no effect. Yeah, literally just everything. Can I get a replay? This is what I was saying earlier with my keyboard. It's either yes or no, and it's random. We had it earlier.
Maybe that thing where if you've been streaming for more than an hour, the replays stop working, because it's an hour and a half we're at now.
Oh yeah, maybe. I actually completely forgot about that existing. Well.
I thought maybe it was fixed, but oh well. Tim Grin's blushes will be spared. So now Mumu just has to avoid doing the same thing, and he's got P2 wrapped up, and this is even better for NWR. Arjun looks like he's behind Alessandro now. I think he was already there. I thought there was a bit of an overtake, but apparently not.
No, it's going to be interesting.
And Arjun's on the mediums as well? Yeah, they're all on the mediums.
Yeah, everyone's just going to the end on the mediums, apart from Mumu pretty much at this point. Iron's going to have a chance at Alessandro if Alessandro can't pick up the pace. I just don't.
Zico's catching up, I think, or is that just no? It's Monster Cat. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, Astro is about to put a lap on Monster Cat by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Monster Cat's definitely in the doldrums now.
Yeah, and you can tell that the blue flags are no longer. This is the perfect illustration of the fact that the blue flags don't pop up.
Hello, Jack. Yes.
I've roped him in for 2 weeks.
I'm doing the last two. Keep a pyro company.
I've roped him in for the couple of 2-hour races. It's what it is. Which is brilliant.
I need to do tier 3 comps, to be fair. They've been asking me every day, and I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow.
That is definitely not my thinking when it comes to the tier 4 comps.
Yeah, when are you going to catch up? I heard that you've done 1 week of comps so far.
Done 1, yes. The lucky thing for me is I have exams the entirety of next week, so guess who doesn't have to work?
Right, okay. Most people would be like, and I don't have time because I have to study. Pyro's like, yes, I can catch up. Here goes Perry. What's happening with Perry and Cameron? Got some action.
I'll be fine with mine, because I'll have exams to prep for dispute resolution on the Tuesday, and then Wednesday after that exam I'll just spam out a couple of comms, and then do the same on Friday, and I'll be on to week 5. It'll be good.
Here we go, Perry's putting pressure.
Yeah, it looks like Perry should get this move at some point. It'll just highlight how bad of a day Cameron's had since that mistake.
Plural.
Well, yeah.
Actual multiple.
Yeah, I was about to say, by this point that's a lost cause in the plural section, but let's be honest, it was one that started the issue.
Honestly, if he's racing next week, we might have to set up a spin counter.
Oh, almost added to it right there. On the exit, he's coming too shallow now, all the way up to the wall. Perry's going to have to go the long way round, gets himself a little bit alongside at the very least, and they've come together already, heading down towards turn 1. They're going to go side by side, Merc versus Merc. Cameron lost control of the car and pushed Perry off the track.
So go on to Perry. Is he close to being overtaken by Inky? No, there's a 15-second gap.
No, there.
Now that is something I'd like to see a replay of, because to me, from what I could see, it looked like Perry was going off track anyway. And then there was a bit of a twitch. So I don't know if the twitch caused it or just confirmed it. You know what I mean?
Either way, I don't think Perry's going to be the happiest person on the planet right now. But honestly, Perry should not be that far back, and quite frankly, neither should Cameron. But they are, so they have to deal with what they've put themselves in. They're just fighting for 11th place anyway, so it's not like it's going to do too much damage in terms of the championship, those two will be wondering, just asking the question of what if today, to be honest with you.
Perry's gonna. I can imagine Perry having a little crash out right now with how his race has gone.
Yeah, I can imagine he's going to have Oak and Zico in the party just kind of get his head back down to where it should be. With after that one, Oak in his own right is in his own battle here with Danny to try and get himself up in the 9th. Is there going to be a move on for Oak? That looked a little bit wide. Also, I love how we've gone to the point where we've gone through the night apparently.
Is the sun coming back?
It certainly wasn't as dark as it was about.
No, it can't be because we're on 1 times.
It wasn't as dark as it was about 10 laps ago.
Yeah.
It's definitely not as dark as it was. So I think we have gone through. We are just starting to come back to light side. But
PZN's recovered pretty well. He's in 8th right now.
Yeah, ITM have done a nice job from what was catastrophic worth of qualifying.
Yeah.
Oak is really on the back of Danny here. He is really electing to try and put some pressure on now. Force that mistake wherever he can. He's actually going to go round the outside potentially here on Danny, trying to force the issue. Does not look like he actually is going to, or is he? He's gone to the outside. No, it really hasn't actually made any moves. And anyone asking for rain, you should probably look up. Have a real good look there. I don't think there's going to be rain at all.
No.
In this one. Oak to the inside. Oak may have made a mistake there. Oak could have had that. He might still have it anyway. But that is a mistake. He should have had that position. He gone far too wide onto the entrance into the hairpin. He should have had Danny. He should have had Danny dead to right. It hasn't happened. Hasn't happened at all! It has now, because he has ran through the back of him. Straight up, and he's let Danny go again. Oh, never mind. No, he hasn't.
Oh, dear. Luckily for them, they've got no one else close by, but yeah. Not the best.
Perry and Cameron have been having their own issues. Now, okay. That was one of the incidents of all time. Slow speed car crash is what I think is the best way of putting that.
Good exit there from Oak, so he might get him anyway.
Yeah, Danny's gone too wide. Danny's gone far too wide. Needs to tighten that exit up. He cost himself probably a couple of tenths of a second every lap if he's going that wide on that exit of the final corner. Oak is just going to say thank you very much, and without contact this time, has gone by. I don't really see Danny getting his way back through there either. Perry's catching back up to Cameron, but it's not enough right now. Inkyo heavily off the back. Anonymous and Montecat very much in their own little world. Mumu has not caught up to Jensen much, if at all. Attingren is 14 seconds off the back of Mumu at this point. 8 ahead of Astro, so the front 4 are going to be the front 4. One person that isn't going to be in the top 5, however, is Zico, because he has made a mistake. A 2:14 on lap 46.
Oh.
And
God, Project Platypus absolutely having a terrible time this race. All 3 of them are probably going to come away with this not happy. Oak probably the happiest out of the 3 of them, but even him is had a couple of hairy moments.
Yeah, it's not gone to plan whatsoever, and any faintest idea of a championship fight has well and truly fallen by the wayside.
Yeah.
This should be, next week's going to be a victory parade for NWR at this rate. Don't forget, it is literally all 3 of NWR beating all 3 of the Project Platypus. That's not head-to-head. Literally every single member of NWR has won against every member.
Yeah.
Against the first member, rather, it should be easily said, of Project Platypus. This has not gone well. It's about as bad as it could have got for Project Platypus.
And Panzani's actually catching up to Zico pretty nicely now.
It would actually help ITM's day just a little bit. Alessandro's got himself into the top 5. Which, to be honest with you, at the beginning of the day, if you said he was going to end top 5 after the qualifying ban, I would probably have laughed at you.
With Tindren dropping to 3rd and Panzani and Alessandro coming through the field like they have, they might actually outscore Liv's racing cabin here. I'm not sure. It'll be close.
The more interesting scenario is whether or not they're going to outscore Aero GT, yeah, and try and force the action for 3rd.
They might all outscore Aero GT, but Astro's in 4th, picking up some big points. Danny, we'll have to see how far back he drops by the end with his alternate strategy. He's got 5 seconds on Cameron, which is probably enough. So actually, Aero might still be pretty similar to the other 2 teams. Because where is Anonyma? He's going to be ahead of one of each of those teams. Yeah. No, actually, he's losing to Inkyo.
Yeah, he's losing Inkyo, but he is beating
Inkyo's part of Livs, and Monster Cat's part of ITM, by the way. So it might be quite even Stevens between them all.
Yeah, Anonyma's beating Monster Cat. PZN is beating Danny by 2 positions, so that's 4 points advantage ITM, and then obviously back between Alessandro and Astro. It might even be as close as actually deadlocked between those 2 teams tonight in particular. It'll be really close between them. They're not really going to create any sort of gap either way unless there's another mistake. I think ITM will take that, to be completely honest.
Absolutely. It was looking horrendous for them after the first couple of laps. Because PZN was caught in, I think, the lag that Aries had at the start, which seems to have disappeared, by the way. So I don't know if an update started downloading on his computer at some point or something, but it's not looking too bad now, his lag.
It's, again, going to be very similar between the ITM and Liv Racing cabin group as well. It's going to be left, right, and centre, just seeing if anybody can force an issue late on. Don't forget, PZN is going to be arriving on the scene here with Zico and Iron. They look to try and get 6. If there is a scenario in these last 2 laps where PZN can snatch a position or 2 here, that would be potentially massive for ITM in this fight.
Yeah, you talk about an extra 10 points for a couple of positions here.
It'll make it a little bit closer between the groups when it comes to that fight for 3rd place when we go to St. Croix next week, which is probably where we're going to highlight a lot of the commentary on. I don't think Project Platypus has made the fight for the lead any more entertaining after tonight. I'll say that much. This has been well and truly one-way traffic in terms of fighting for the championship. In this one race in particular, it hasn't been that way all season. The problem is the team that was winning in the middle of the season was not the closest rival.
Was that Aero?
That was Aero GT. The Aero won back-to-back in week 4 and in week 5, I believe it was, after almost winning Daytona as well, which I believe was week 3. So yeah, Aero GT, you can imagine, right, what Aero GT must be thinking after this season. They've won 2 races. They've realistically ran NWR as good as any team has given NWR since NWR joined the league. Mm-hmm. And they're 3rd, a country mile off the way.
Put it in context. Where were they last season and the season before? Like, this is by far the best, and maybe they'll take another step forward next season again. We'll have to wait and see.
That is true. I guess it depends.
It's a young team.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess it's the option where sort of like Team Captain Hurricane wants to look at it, whether or not you want to see this as a success. Personally, it's part success, part what could have been. If I'm completely honest, if I was doing the assessment of the season, but you get someone like Aura in the team straight away, and you open up the opportunities to win races.
Yes.
That's what he was doing with FGR a couple of seasons back. So.
Here we go. Zico's getting alongside a little bit now, and Panzani's really close as well. Zico's actually got his nose ahead, and he's got the move done.
Yeah,
back up into 6th.
Oh, Jesus! That exit wasn't filling anyone with confidence. That's for certain.
Now is Panzani going to chuck it on the inside of Arjun here? Iron.
He is on the inside. This could be an electric exit if he gets it. The problem is it's an exit against a Z4, and that will end that one. right in its tracks. The problem now for Zico is that as Ford's acceleration is going to make them go side by side in a spoon curve. Here we go. Iron, a long way round. I'm not entirely sure what was going on there. Zico's going to nicely take the inside line. He should be able to hang on, and if you're a PZN, you should be following the hole, go into the back of Zico here, and follow the slipstream.
They're still side by side going into 130R. Somehow,
it looked like
they've managed to... Yeah, Iron's just ahead, but he's gone completely off track there, yeah, which he can do. But now what's he going to do? He's joined alongside still, and he's just got his nose ahead of Zico, and he's kept the position once again for now. Somehow, I don't know how he managed to keep it around the outside of Spoon there. That was really good.
He just about kept it. It looked a little bit awkward going through the corner, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're going to continue on fighting. As long as it's the NWR car out in front, I don't think he cares how it happens, to be honest with you. Where is Jensen in all of this? He is about to head through Spoon Curve. That's a massive picture, isn't it? We were just looking at 6th and 7th and 8th for fighting through the first set of corners, and well, Jensen's at the end of the lap already. On lap 52 of 52, so this is just proving how dominant, well, Jensen has been. He's not really being touched. Attigred gave him a little bit of a scare in the middle, set in the middle stint, but outside of that, it really hasn't been much of a problem. And NWR, who have been in control this season, stamp their authority one more time, and Jensen is going to win in Suzuka.
Great win, and this is 1.5 hands on the trophy here, with Bubu coming through 9 seconds back at the end to finish and complete a 1-2 for NWR. Tim Grid's going to get his second podium in the row, I think, in this GTR. Great drive for him, but could have had second potentially. Lost a lot of time stuck behind drivers, and then had that face plant into the wall out of the second Degner as well. But really good for Liz Racing Cabin. P5 in the standings, but P3 on track here. Astro is going to take 4th for Aero GT, one of his strongest performances, I reckon. I don't know if he's been on the podium, but really good. M6 seems pretty strong around here with that P4 that he's managed. Then we've got this battle here. No change in position so far. This is going to be the last opportunity for any of them to do a bit of a late dive bomb. Iron looks really comfortable going into this final braking zone.
Yeah, Zico just had a little bit of a look. It really wasn't doing anything. Alessandro into the top 5 then. Alessandro on a great recovery drive from not qualifying is just absolutely, well, blasted Suzuka here. Iron gets 6, Zico gets 7, PZN in 8th as nothing really happens between the battle in the group here. There is something wrong because Danny is back up into 9th.
Who's he overtaken?
It's Oak.
Oak's had a nightmare somewhere.
Oh, Project Papa's day gets from bad to worse. Aero GT will take that. That'll have helped their standing for 3rd. And there's Perry, who did actually get Cameron in the end. And then Oak down into
2 minute 13 last lap. So he had a spin or something. So 12 for him. Monster Cat's already crossed the line for 15th. Inkyo is going to be 13th in the end in his Citroen. And Anonymous is going to bring it home quite a long way back in 14th there in the McLaren. He was doing well, then had that incident with Perry, dropped all the way to the back, and looks like he struggled to recover after that, lapping in the 2 minute 2s at the end of this race on really worn softs. 14th for him, 15th for Monster Cat, and that is it for Suzuka. 52 laps done.
Yeah, 52 laps in the bag, and half of the double points dealt out, and it is a massive 40 stamped situation here for NWR. They came
fastest lap as well, which is 6 points, I think, isn't it? The fastest on the double points, or is it 4?
I think it's 4.
Okay.
It's 4 for pole, 4 for fastest lap. So because it's usually double the amount on the regular one, which is I believe 2 for lobby A.
So 88 points scored there for Jensen tonight.
Jensen has well and truly. Well, clean sweeped it. Clean sweeped.
Queen sweeped it.
If I can speak English anytime soon. Clean sweeped it for Jensen tonight. That's about as good as he could have asked for. And I don't see a way back for any of these 5 teams, any of the other 4 teams against NWR. Now, I think we are going to, maybe just a procession next week, but we might be claiming back-to-back champions for the second time in ALR.
Look at this though. So obviously you have NWR three of the top eight. The only other team to have more than one car in the top eight is ITM in the end.
Yep. It's a
So
good run
really
for them.
solid night for them from what was looking like a horrendous night from qualifying. But obviously they get the points for last place as well to kind of balance that out.
If Monster
Lives
had
didn't
any
get
of
two of the
them,
cars in the top 10. The only team not to get two cars in the top 10, Lives Racing Cabin, which balances out the P3 as well. So it's going to be really even between them going into the last race. I think if any of those teams could get three drivers in the top 8 in the last race, they could jump into third in the standings.
yeah, it's definitely going to be a closer battle than the battle out front. If Monster Cat had done anything other than end of last night, ITM would have been in a very, very, very strong position. Anonymous did not make his qualifying count in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Weirdly
somehow-
not able to get into the 59s, let alone the 58s. I think he'd set a 58 in qualifying Anonymous.
It's just
So
he's probably gonna have a little bit a little bit of a reflection after that one, I think, Anonymous, because he's definitely a lot better than what he showed in that race. Could we get a driver's interview with Jensen? I don't even know if Jensen's about. That'd be a problem. We might do one next week if he's about, but we'll have to schedule that well in advance. But yeah, with that being said, we have been running for about 2.25 hours now total. Started at 7:30. It's about 9:45 UK time, so we won't keep you any longer. But we will end with this message: that NWR stamped their authority on the championship tonight and look to go back to back for the second time in ALR's history. But with that being said, we'll see you same place, same time next week, 7:30 UK time on this channel. Peace.